What's up, y'all? Today, we are going to be attempting to beat every Pokemon generation with only a Raichu. Basically, one game from each generation and 9 challenge videos in one. So, 9 playthroughs in one video. You could probably tell from the length of this video. Raichu here has a BST of 485. It is a pure electric type, making it only weak to ground type. However, Raichu is pretty frail, so any moves like Earthquake are gonna be really bad for us. But it always gets the move Thunderbolt, which is gonna be our best friend in the whole runs. First game here will be Pokemon Leaf Green. The biggest worry will be Giovanni, since his team consists of ground types. Anyway, let's get started. We name our rival Ground since that's our enemy here, and we pick Squirtle, just so Ground can have a Venusaur later on to make this harder, and it worked. And would you look at that? We lose our first battle. Good thing we didn't have Raichu. We then get the parcel for Oak, we then get Raichu and give it the name Reactive. We then head to Viridian Forest and destroy Kid's bugs. We're then faced with a problem in Brock's gym. Everything is ground rock type, so electric moves have zero effect and normal moves do very little. And we even died to the first trainer. We even have to get to level 18 just to manage. We now take on Brock, who sends out Geodude. We go for a bit of tail whips.
Cool Whip. What'd you say? You can't have a pie without Cool Whip.
And 4 tackles takes down Geodude. Brock sends out Onix, which I use the same tail whip strategy and go for another 4 quick attacks to take down Onix, beating Brock, earning us the first gym badge. Next, we collect a Dome Fossil and we battle Ground, who sends out Pidgeotto, who dies to a Thunderbolt. Next, Ground sends out Rattata, who dies to a Thunderbolt, and so does Abra. And here's where it gets tricky. Ground sends out Bulbasaur. I use a tail whip, but a Bulbasaur uses Sleep Powder. A quick attack gets it to yellow health, but it uses a second sleep powder, and I fainted. I try another tail whip, and it uses a sleep powder. We wake up and get it to half health with a quick attack. Bulbasaur gets a vine whip, 14 damage, and another 2 quick attacks take down Bulbasaur. We then grab the tickets from Bill, and we battle Misty, which was a really easy battle, who sends out Staryu and goes down to a single Thunderbolt. Misty then sent out Starmie, who goes down to another Thunderbolt as well, earning us the second gym badge. We then teach Reactive Dig. We then find and catch a Meowth and name it Betsy. We then find and catch a Pidgey and name it Tom. We then battle Ground once more, and he sent out Pidgeotto, who uses Quick Attack for 9 damage and goes down to a Thunderbolt. Ground then sends out Eradicate, who goes down to a Thunderbolt, and Kadabra as well. Thunderbolt is just very OP. And then, oh dear, he has Ivysaur. I use a Tulip, and Ivysaur uses Sleep Powder. It keeps Leech Seeding until I hit 2 quick attacks, getting it to red health. Ivysaur misses a Sleep Powder, and I hit another quick attack, beating Ground. We then give the captain a nice, soft, refreshing, calm, soothing, and calming back rub, getting us the HM cut, which we teach to Betsy. We go ahead and teach Reactive Brick Break as a counter to ground rock types. We then battle Lieutenant Surge. He sends out a Voltorb, and 1 dig takes it down. He then sends out Pikachu, and 1 dig is all it took. However, the Pikachu static paralyzed us. Lieutenant Surge sends out Raichu and uses Quick Attack for 10 damage. We go for a dig, and Raichu uses Double Team, and we get stopped by a paralyzation. We try again, and we hit the dig and one-shot Raichu, earning us the 3rd gym badge. We register 10 Pokemon for our decks, grab the bike ticket, claim the bike, and collect the HM Flash we teach it to Betsy. We then make it to Lavender Town and then Celadon City. We then make it to Rocket Hideout and battle a measly Rocket Grunt for a key. I mean, seriously, who gives up a key that easily? Anyway, we make it to Giovanni. He sent out Onix. I went for a Brick Break, getting it to low yellow health. Onix goes for Bind, but a second Brick Break takes it down. He then sends out Rhyhorn, and I use a Brick Break, getting it to red health, and uses Scary Face, but a second Brick Break takes down Rhyhorn. Giovanni then sends out Kangaskhan, who uses Bite for 8 damage, and then we paralyze it with static. We get a crit Brick Break defeating Giovanni. We then battle Erica, who sends out Victory Bell. We then use a Dig, which does less than half, and then it uses Stun Spore paralyzing us. Victory Bell uses Giga Drain for 19 damage. We then use a second Dig, getting it to low yellow health. Erica then heals and a Thunderbolt only doing half damage. Victory Bell uses Acid for 16 damage, Paralyzation gets us, and he uses Giga Drain for 20 damage. Victory Bell uses many Acids, 2 Thunderbolts take it down though. Erica then sends out Tangela, which I use a Brick Break for half damage. And Tangela uses Giga Drain for 15 damage, but a second Brick Break takes down Tangela. Vileplume uses 2 Acids until a Dig gets it to low green health. Vileplume goes for 4 Acids, and I had to cut because it was taking too long, but rest assured, it was defeated, earning us the 4th gym badge. We then grab the HM Fly to teach it to Tom. Please kids, do not forget to grab Fly. We then battle Ground, who sends out Pidgeotto, who uses a quick attack for 11 damage, and Pidgeotto gets paralyzed, but it falls to a single Thunderbolt. Ground then sends out Gyarados, who as you can imagine dies to a single Thunderbolt. He then sends out Growlithe, who dies to a Thunderbolt. He sends out Kadabra, who also dies to a Thunderbolt. And then here's the hard part, Ivysaur. I use a Tail Whip, and Ivysaur uses Poison Powder, getting it to low green health, and uses Razor Leaf for 14 damage. I use a second Dig, getting it to 1 HP, but Ivysaur gets a crit Razor Leaf, fainting Raichu. I do the same thing again, but when it gets to low red health, I hit it with a Thunderbolt, fainting Ivysaur. We then wake up the Snorlax and then faint it with a crit Brick Break. We then make our way to Fuchsia City and get to Safari Zone, ignore my money count. We then grab Surf and then we grab the tea for later. And then we battle Koga, who sends out Coughing, who dies to a Thunderbolt. Then he sends out Muck, which I use Dig and it goes for Minimize, then I hit Dig for only half damage. He uses a second Minimize, causing me to miss a Dig, and he uses Sludge for 42 damage. I attempt the Thunderbolt, but then I miss, and use a second Sludge for 44 damage, plus Poison faints reactive. We try again, and he uses Acid Armor, which makes Dick get to low green health. I use a Thunderbolt, getting it to low red health and paralyzing it. Muck uses Sludge and poisons me, and uses a Hyper Potion. A Thunderbolt gets it to half health, but thankfully a second one takes down the Muck. Koga sends out Coughing, who thankfully dies to a Thunderbolt. Koga then sends out Wheezing and uses Sludge for 38 damage. Thunderbolt gets it to low yellow health and uses Toxic. Wheezing uses a Hyper Potion, thankfully Muck didn't do that. Oh wait, it actually kinda did. But 2 Thunderbolts takes it down, earning us the 5th gym badge. We then make it to Saffron City and we battle Ground. He sends out Pidgeot and he uses Quick Attack for 16 damage and dies to a Thunderbolt. He sends out Gyarados and of course it goes down to a Thunderbolt, along with Growlithe. However, Alakazam lives on 1 HP and uses Future Sight but goes down to a second Thunderbolt. And, oh no, Venusaur! I go for a Tail Whip and use a Sweet Scent. Future Sight comes back for 27 damage. I use a Dig, which doesn't do a lot, and uses Sleep Powder. I wake up and use Thunderbolt, getting it to half health. He uses Razor Leaf for 28 damage. I use another Dig, getting it to low yellow health. He uses a Sleep Powder, but I wake up and crit Thunderbolt beats Venusaur. Phew! That was a relief. We then collect the Lapras for Surf and name her Paula. We take on Giovanni, who sends out Nidorino that I destroy with a Dig. He then sends out Nidoqueen, who I use a Dig for half damage, but I get poisoned from poison points. But a second Dig takes it down. He then sends out Kangaskhan, and I use a Brick Break for low yellow health, and uses Rage for 18 damage. But a second Brick Break takes it down. He then sends out Rhyhorn for miserable Fury attack that does a measly 23 damage altogether. I use a Brick Break, getting it to half health, and then use a Scary Face, but a second Brick Break takes it down, beating Giovanni. We then battle Sabrina, who sends out Kadabra that dies to a Thunderbolt. And then she sends out Mr. Mime, who's a pain in the booty, because I use a Thunderbolt, getting it to red health, and I use a Psybeam for 23 damage, but I get confused, Mr. Mime heals, and then I hit in confusion. A Thunderbolt almost kills, but he uses Calm Mind. I hit in Confusion again, but Thunderbolt only gets it to half health. And Mr. Mime uses Barrier, raising its defense. Another Thunderbolt finally KOs, thank goodness! Sabrina sends out Venomoth and uses Psybeam for 13 damage, but it lives on 1 HP from Thunderbolt and uses second Psybeam. I use a Brick Break for the heck of it. Sabrina finally sends out Alakazam. I use a Thunderbolt for low yellow health. Alakazam uses Psychic for 55 damage, but a second Thunderbolt KOs, earning us the 6th gym badge. We then make it to Cinnabar Island and grab the secret key, and we already take on Blaine. He sends out Growlithe, who dies to a Thunderbolt along with Ponyta. Blaine sends out Rapidash, and he uses a Thunderbolt for low yellow health, and he uses Blast Burn for 41 damage, but it burns me. But a second Thunderbolt takes it down. Blaine sends out Arcanine, and he uses a Thunderbolt for half damage, and uses Fire Blast for... oh, it KOs me. We try again, and a Thunderbolt gets it to low yellow health, and the Fire Blast does a whopping 75 damage, but a second Thunderbolt defeats Arcanine, earning us the 7th gym badge. We get to Sevi Islands and destroy a Hypno. We make it back to Viridian City, and I run into a trainer in the gym who's a giant pain in the butt. This is not a good sign. And right I was, because this gym was agonizing. Giovanni sends out Rhyhorn, which I use a Brick Break for red damage, but 1 Earthquake takes me down. We try again and 3 Brick Breaks takes it down. He sends out Dugtrio and uses Slash for 19 damage, and I use a Dig and uses Earthquake and one-shots me. We try again and Dugtrio dies to a Brick Break. He sends out Nidoqueen, which I use a Dig, and he uses Earthquake, getting me to 9 HP, and a Dig gets it to red HP, but a second Earthquake faints me. We try again and thankfully Dig one-shots, but we get poisoned. Giovanni sends out Nidoking. We get a crit Dig one-shotting Nidoking, and then he sends out Rhyhorn that faints to a single Brick Break, earning us the final gym badge. Woo! As I predicted, that was the hardest. We then take out Ground. He sends out Pidgeot and uses Quick Attack for 19 damage and gets paralyzed and dies to a Thunderbolt. He then sends out Rhyhorn, who dies to a Brick Break. Gyarados, Growlithe, and Alakazam die to a Thunderbolt, and... oh no. Venusaur uses Growth. That's not good. I use a Dig, but it gets off 2 more Growths. I use a Thunderbolt, getting it to low yellow health, and uses Razor Leaf for 71 damage. A Thunderbolt almost gets it, but he uses Synthesis, healing itself, and he uses again. He uses a Razor Leaf, destroying me. I use a Tail Whip, Dig, and a crit Thunderbolt, and that's all it took apparently. Wow, this is not a good sign, and you'll see later that I was correct. We make it to the league, and we battle Lorelei, who we go on a Thunderbolt spree here, as it one-shots Dugong, Cloyster, Slowbro, and Lapras. And with Jinx, I get it to low yellow health, and he hits a Lovely Kiss, putting me to sleep. Lorelei heals, but Jinx goes down to a Thunderbolt and a crit Brick Break. We then face Bruno, who sends out Onix, who falls to a Brick Break. Second Onix, however, lives on low yellow HP and gets an Earthquake that does 75 damage. Onix heals, but Brick Break one-shots. I don't know how that works. Bruno sends out Hitmonchan. It lives on 1 HP with Hitmonchan and uses Rock Tomb for 22 damage. I finish it with Thunderbolt. Bruno sends out Hitmonlee, and it also lives on 1 HP and uses Brick Break for 57 damage. Hitmonlee heals, and it lives on 1 HP again, uses Mega Kick for 60 damage, and we beat it with a Brick Break. And we straight up one-shot with Champ with a crit Thunderbolt. I'll take it. We then battle Agatha, which I slay both Gengar and Golbat with a Thunderbolt. Agatha then uses Arbok, which I use a Dig, getting it to low yellow HP, and uses Screech, and Thunderbolt takes it down. Then both Gengar and Haunter fall to Thunderbolt. We now battle Lance, who sends out Gyarados, who falls to a Thunderbolt since it's 4 times super effective. He sends out Dragonair, who falls to 2 Brick Breaks. The second Dragonair falls to a critical hit Brick Break. He then sends out Dragonite, which Thunderbolt does half damage and uses Outbreak for 55 damage and uses the Citrus Berry to heal a bit. I use Thunderbolt for low red HP and use Outrage for 52 damage, but a second Thunderbolt takes it down. we thankfully one-shot Aerodactyl, beating Lance. We then take on Champion Ground, who sends out Pidgeot, who doesn't use Quick Attack but dies to a Thunderbolt. He sends out Rhydon, who you think would be hard, but Brick Break does low yellow health, and he uses Scary Face and dies to a second Brick Break. Ground then sends out Alakazam, who uses Future Sight, and then 3 Thunderbolts because of 4 restores. Future Sight hits for 34 damage. And then he uses Psychic for 55 damage, but Thunderbolt takes it down. Ground sends out Gyarados, who uses Dragon Rage for 40 damage and dies to a Thunderbolt. Ground sends out Arcanine, who uses Flamethrower for 62 damage, and I use a Dig, getting it to low green health, and it spams Flamethrower until it dies to a Thunderbolt. And Ground sends out, oh no, Venusaur. It gets off 3 growths and one-shots with Solar Beam, and does it again, and third time it doesn't, and it did half with Dig. We barely hang on from Solar Beam. Okay, sorry, we defeat Venusaur, but I had to cut it because it was taking way too long. But anyway, that is Kanto down. Now to move on to Johto. For this one, we will be playing Pokemon Crystal. I know that sounds like a downgrade, but who cares? Our challenges will be Jasmine, who even though Steelix doesn't have any ground attacks, will still be annoying due to its typing. And Price's Piloswine doesn't know any ground moves either. Bruno with 2 Pokemon with ground moves will provide a challenge. Brock and Kanto will provide challenges as well as Blue. They can be annoying, but overall shouldn't be too bad. Anyway, let's get started. For our starter, we picked the lovely Totodile, and we name our rival Ground again. We then capture Raichu and name it Reactive. We then battle the guy at Bellsprout Tower, and you just use Quick Attacks and Thunderbolt and grab the HM. We then battle Faulkner, who you can imagine is a breeze because everything dies to a Thunderbolt, earning us the first gym badge. We then teach Reactive Mud Slap as a counter to things like Onix. We then get to Slowpoke well, battle the grunts, and then catch a Slowpoke for Surf later and name it Dopey. We are already at Bugsy, which everything also dies to a Thunderbolt, earning us the second gym badge. We then battle Ground, which Ghastly dies to a Thunderbolt. He sends out Bayleaf. I use a Tail Whip and he uses Poison Powder. I use a Quick Attack for low yellow HP. He uses 2 Razor Leafs, leaving me at 23 HP, but 2 Quick Attacks faint Bayleaf, and he sends out Zubat, who dies to a Thunderbolt, beating Ground. We then hatch a Togepi egg. We then get the HM cut and find a Paris and catch it and name it Stupid to teach it Cut. We then head to Goldenrod City and battle Whitney, the hardest gym leader ever. Whitney sends out Clefairy, and Thunderbolt gets it to low yellow HP, and he uses Double Slap for 20 damage, but Clefairy faints to a Quick Attack. Whitney sends out Miltank, and I accidentally use a Quick Attack, and then Miltank hits 2 rollouts, and 2 Thunderbolts take down Miltank, earning us the 3rd gym badge. See? That wasn't so bad. We then grab the spray bottle to spray Sudowoodo. We then make our way to Ecruteak City and battle Ground. He sends out Haunter that faints to a crit Thunderbolt. He then sends out Magnemite, who faints to the Mud Slap. He then sends out Bayleaf, which I use a Tail Whip and use Poison Powder. Then I get a quick attack, getting it to low yellow HP. Uses Razor Leaf for 12 damage, but a Quick Attack faints Bayleaf. And Zubat obviously dies to Thunderbolt. We then battle Morty, who sends out Ghastly, which I use a Mud Slap, but he uses Curse, fainting itself. We one-shot Haunter with Thunderbolt, but Gengar lives on yellow HP. It misses Hypnosis, but a second Thunderbolt takes down Gengar. And a Thunderbolt KOs the second Haunter, earning us the 4th gym badge. So far this is a smooth ride. We battle the girls, and get Surf, and get to Olivine City, and head to the Lighthouse to help a pretty lady's Ampharos. We head to Cyanwood City and battle Truck. We one-shot Primeape and Poliwrath with Thunderbolt, earning us the 5th gym badge. We then get to Medicine and give it to Jasmine. We then battle Jasmine. She sends out Magnemite, and I use a Tail Whip and use a Supersonic, and I hit a Confusion and use a Sonic Boom for 20 damage. We then defeat it with a Mud Slap. Then the second Magnemite comes in and lives on red HP for Mud Slap and tries for Thunder Wave but fails and falls to Quick Attack. Now for Scary Steelix. I use a Tail Whip and Steelix uses Iron Tail for 31 damage and Mud Slap does nothing at all. So I spam Mud Slap until I faint. We then come back and spam Mud Slap until it eventually faints, earning us the 6th gym badge. We then teach Reactive Iron Tail. We then make our way to Mahogany Town and oh my gosh, it's Shiny Gyarados, no way! We then battle Price, who sends out Seal, who dies to a Thunderbolt. Then Price sends out Piloswine. We miss an Iron Tail and use a Fury attack for 28 damage. Then we one-shot with an Iron Tail. Then we one-shot Dugong with Thunderbolt, earning us the 7th gym badge. We then battle Executive. Coughing dies to Thunderbolt, and the other Coughing uses Sludge for 18 damage when I miss an Iron Tail. Then we one-shot with Iron Tail. Then the rest of his Pokemon faint to Thunderbolt. Man, I love this move! We then battle Ground, who sends out Golbat, who faints to Thunderbolt, Magnemite to Mud Slap, Haunter to Thunderbolt. Sneasel gets off 2 quick attacks before fainting to Iron Tail. He now has Meganium, which Iron Tail gets to low yellow HP. Uses Reflect, but a second Iron Tail faints, Meganium beating Ground. We then get the card key and battle the Executive again. All of his Pokemon faint to Thunderbolt. We then make it to Blackthorn City and battle Claire, who sends out Dragonair, which 3 faint to Iron Tail and the last being a crit. Claire then sends out Kingdra, which Thunderbolt gets it to red health, uses Hyper Beam for 46 damage, but a second Thunderbolt takes it down, beating Claire, earning us the final, well, not yet. Well, now we do. Man, this game is easy. We battle Ground again, who sent out Sneasel, who dies to an Iron Tail. He sent out Magneton, who lives on red HP, and with Mud Slap, but a second one does the job. Then Haunter and Kadabra faint to Thunderbolt. He sends out Meganium, who lives on yellow HP with Iron Tail, uses Poison Powder, but a second Iron Tail does the trick. He sends out Golbat, who faints to Thunderbolt, beating Ground. We now battle Will. He sends out Xatu, who faints to a Thunderbolt, and Jinx faints to an Iron Tail. Then he sends Executor, who is a pain as it always is, and I faint. We repeat the same process. Executor uses 3 Psychics, one being a crit and a Reflect. But a crit Iron Tail beats it finally. But Thunderbolt faints Slowbro, and the second Xatu beating Will. We then take on Koga, which Ariados Fortress and Venomoth faint to Thunderbolt. Koga sends out Muck, and I miss an Iron Tail and uses 2 Minimizes, and I hit an Iron Tail for low yellow health. Muck uses Toxic, but a Thunderbolt takes it down. We then one-shot Crobat, beating Koga. We take on Bruno again. He sends out Hitmontop, and Iron Tail gets it to low red HP and uses Dig for 40 damage, but Mud Slap takes it down. He sends out Onix, and I miss an Iron Tail and uses a crit Earthquake, getting me to 9 HP. But an Iron Tail finishes Onix. Bruno sends out Hitmonlee, who dies to a Thunderbolt and Mud Slap. Hitmonchan hits 2 Mach Punches, but an Iron Tail and Mud Slap fainted. Bruno sends out Machamp, and we faint to a crit Cross Chop. We try again, we live a Cross Chop, but 3 Thunderbolts take out Machamp, beating Bruno. We now battle Karen, who sends out Umbreon, which we use a Thunderbolt, getting it to low yellow HP, and uses Sand Attack, which can be a problem, but we faint with an Iron Tail. Karen then sends out Vileplume. We miss an Iron Tail and uses Stun Spore, paralyzing us, and uses Petal Dance for 26 damage. We hit an Iron Tail for red HP. Vileplume then hits in Confusion and spams Moonlight, healing itself. Uses Petal Dance, but an Iron Tail beats Vileplume. Karen then sends out Gengar, and it spams Curse until we faint because we miss everything. Told you the Sand Attack was going to be a problem. We try again, but a Thunderbolt KOs Gengar. Karen sends out Houndoom, who lives on 1 HP with Thunderbolt, and uses Flamethrower for 42 damage. Houndoom heals, and while it uses Flamethrowers, 3 Mud Slap finishes Houndoom. Then there's Murkrow, who faints to a Thunderbolt, beating Karen. We then battle Lance, who sends out Gyarados, who faints to a Thunderbolt. Then he sends out Dragonite, who uses Thunder Wave, Thunder, and Hyper Beam, but faints to an Iron Tail. The second Dragonite comes out and uses Blizzard and Hyper Beam, but faints to an Iron Tail and Thunderbolt. Then the third Dragonite comes in and faints to a crit Thunderbolt. Then the Aerodactyl faints to a crit Thunderbolt. And Charizard faints with 1 Thunderbolt, beating Lance. Now this game isn't over just yet, as we still gotta fight Red. We make our way through Kanto, and we are gonna speed our way through the gym leaders for time's sake. Alright, now that that's done, we take on Red, who sends out Pikachu and uses Charm and takes a lot of mud slaps to the feet. Espeon uses Reflect and feints the 2 Thunderbolts. Red sends out Snorlax, who uses 2 Amnesias, and as you can see, I'm struggling a lot. So I had to cut because it was taking too long. Red then sends out Venusaur, which Iron Tail doesn't do a lot, and Solar Beam does 110 damage. I use an Iron Tail, getting it to yellow health, and use a Sunny Day. I use another Iron Tail, getting closer, and Venusaur uses 2 Solar Beams, and another Iron Tail beats Venusaur. Red sends out Blastoise, who lives on red HP with Thunderbolt and uses Rain Dance. I attempt a Mud Slap, but it doesn't do anything, and Blastoise uses Surf for 109 damage. Now a second Mud Slap defeats Blastoise. And finally, Red sends out Charizard, who dies to a single Thunderbolt, being Red. That didn't take too long, actually. Now on to Hoenn. This one, we will be playing Pokemon Emerald, which is a fan favorite. Now, there is no ground type specialist, but Drake has a Flygon with Earthquake, and Wallace has Whiscash with Earthquake, and Milotic will find a way to piss me off. Anyway, let's get it started. We collect the greatest starter of all time, Mudkip. We also beat Maze Trico. We then find and catch Raichu and name it Reactive as always. We battle the Aqua Grunt, who likes to steal papers, and we one-shot his Poochyena. We get to Rustboro City, and Geodude is a pain in the butt because of our moveset. And Roxanne has 2 of them, so this will probably go really badly. We battle Roxanne, who sends out Geodude. I use a Tail Whip and it misses a Rock Tomb, and I use Quick Attack for barely any damage. Then Geodude uses a Rock Tomb for 13 damage. After 2 Tail Whips, it uses Rock Tomb, getting me to 1 HP. Then we faint. We try again. I go for Tail Whip and uses Rock Tomb for 11 damage. I use Tail Whip until it uses Defense Curl, and I spam Quick Attacks until Geodude faints. Roxanne sends out another Geodude, which I use Tail Whip again, but he uses 2 Rock Tombs until I spam Quick Attack again, fainting the Geodude. Roxanne finally sends out Nosepass. Nosepass goes for a block, which is absolutely useless here. I use a Thunderbolt for yellow HP. Nosepass heals a bit, but then it uses Tackle for 7 damage. But a second Thunderbolt and Quick Attack takes it down, earning us the first gym badge. We then catch a Tailor for Fly and name it Jess, who will stay in the box for now. We then battle May, who sends out Wingull, who obviously dies to a Thunderbolt. May sends out Trico, who uses Quick Attack for 5 damage and gets paralyzed. I use a Thunderbolt, getting it to yellow HP, and a second Thunderbolt takes down Trico, beating May. We then give Steven the letter and battle Brawly. He sends out Machop, who lives on 1 HP with Thunderbolt and uses Karate Chop for 15 damage. He heals, and then a Quick Attack and Thunderbolt take it down. Brawly sends out Meditite, who tightens its focus and dies to a crit Thunderbolt. Brawly sends out Makuhita. A Thunderbolt gets it to 1 HP, and then uses Bolka, and then it heals with a berry and dies to a second Thunderbolt, earning us the second gym badge. We make it to Slateport, and talk to this bald guy. Oh, where's the captain? Seriously, why is this so important? Anyway, we destroy the 2 grunts and we battle May, who sends out Wingull, and of course it dies to a Thunderbolt. And as does Slogma. Seriously, one Slogma D's nuts joke and you will be banned. Anyway, May sends out Grovyle, who uses Quick Attack for 9 damage, and then I use a Tail Whip and a Quick Attack, getting it to low HP. Grovyle uses a second Quick Attack for 9 damage, but my Quick Attack takes it down, the Geico Lizard beating May. We then make it to Mauville City and grab the bike because my shoes were dirty? What? We battle Wally, who's a joke because Ralts unfortunately faints to a Thunderbolt. We then battle Watson, who is a giant pain in the booty. He sends out Voltorb, and I use a Tail Whip and use a Shockwave for 5 damage, and it feints the 2 quick attacks. Watson sends out Electrike, which I use a Thunderbolt for half damage, paralyzing it. Then he uses Howl, but a quick attack feints Electrike. But little did I know, Electrike had Static, paralyzing me. Here's where it gets awful. Watson sends out Magneton, and he uses Sonic Boom for 20 damage. He uses Shockwave for 7 damage, and I hit 2 Thunderbolts and a quick attack, getting it to red health. Then he uses Supersonic, confusing me, and Magneton heals. Then I hit in confusion and then faint. We try again. Magneton uses Shockwave for 8 damage. I use Quick Attack, and then he uses Supersonic, confusing me. So I had to cut because it was taking too long. Watson sends out Manectric, who uses Growl. I get trapped in paralysis, and Manectric feints me with a quick attack. We try again, and he uses Howl, and I get a quick attack, getting it to half HP. We both do a quick attack off, until I feint Manectric, earning us the 3rd gym badge. We then battle Maxie, who sends out Mighty Anna, who dies to a Thunderbolt, along with Zubat. Maxie sends out Camerupt, who I get a quick attack, and then I use a Rock Smash, but it doesn't do jack. And then he uses Magnitude 9, which feints me. We try again. I use a Tail Whip, and then I use a quick attacks until it feints me. We try one more time. We use a Tail Whip, and we hit 1 quick attack for low green HP. And we get a quick attack, feinting the Camerupt. We then battle Flamery, whose Numel feints the 2 quick attacks, and Slugma feints to a Thunderbolt. And for Camerupt, luckily this one doesn't have any ground moves. We paralyze it and then spam quick attacks until it faints. Flannery sends out Torkoal, which I use a Thunderbolt for low yellow HP, and uses Body Slam for 25 damage, paralyzing it. Then another Thunderbolt takes it down, earning us the 4th gym badge. We then battle Norman the Dad, who sends out Spinda, who feints to a Thunderbolt, and Vigoroth feints to a crit Thunderbolt. Norman sends out Lightnoon. I use a Thunderbolt and it lives on 1 HP, and then attempts to use a Belly Drum. Then it uses a Hyper Potion, but 1 Thunderbolt one-shots. Then Norman sends out Slacking. I use a Thunderbolt, getting it to half HP, and uses Yawn. Then a Thunderbolt gets it to 1 HP, and then I fall asleep. I stay asleep until Slacking almost faints me with Facade, but we wake up and a Thunderbolt KOs Slacking, earning us the 5th gym badge. And here's just the easiest battle ever, where I one-shot all the fishes and a dog. We battle May, who sends out Slugma, who dies to a Thunderbolt. Lombre uses Fake Out for 6 damage, but dies to a Thunderbolt. Then 2 quick attacks feint Grovyle, beating May. We battle Winona, who sends out Swablu that dies to a Thunderbolt, and Altaria takes 2 Thunderbolts to take down, and Skarmory feints to a single Thunderbolt. Tropius gets to red HP twice from Thunderbolt. Then I use Quick Attack and a Thunderbolt, feinting Tropius. And Winona finally sends out Pelipper, which you'd think would be easy, but it goes for Protect, and I use a Thunderbolt. Okay, maybe it was easy. Anyway, we earned the 6th gym badge. We then battle Maxie, who sends out Mighty Anna, who feints to a crit Thunderbolt. He sends out Scary Camerupt, and I use a Tail Whip, and then I live on 2 HP from Earthquake. So my plan is to heal stall until it runs out of Earthquake. However, I get lucky enough to feint it with quick attacks while it's paralyzed. Then he sends out Crobat that feints to a fat Thunderbolt, beating Maxie. We battle Tate and Liza, and oh my god, this was a pain in the booty hole. I spam quick attacks on the Clay Doll, but the combination of Psychic from Xatu and Earthquake from Clay Doll are a pain. So I grab the move Thief, as it is a dark attack. I try again, but Thief doesn't do much better than a quick attack. Still, it's better than nothing. Clay Doll uses Ancient Power and I paralyze it, and Xatu uses Calm Mind. I get hit with an Earthquake and then I live on red HP, but Xatu hits with Psychic, fainting me. So now, my new plan is feint the Xatu, and I do low yellow HP on Lunatone. Thankfully, the Earthquake Psychic combination isn't as dangerous with Lunatone, so I heal stall the Earthquake. And because of Light Screen, Thunderbolt isn't doing jack to Lunatone, so I cut till Lunatone is down since it's taking too long. And Clay Doll, I spam Thief, but in the process I almost faint. Afterwards, Solrock uses Flamethrower, not doing a lot. Then 2 Thunderbolts take it down, finally beating Tate and Liza, earning us the 7th gym badge. We battle Archie, which Mighty Anodized to a Thunderbolt, as does Crobat and Sharpedo. Man, Archie is such a joke. Then we battle Juan, who sends out Love Disc that faints to a Thunderbolt. I mean, of course, it's going to. It's a freaking Love Disc. Whiscash is a bigger problem, as it is Water Ground type. We use a Quick Attack for not a lot of damage, and it goes for Rain Dance. And second Quick Attack gets into yellow HP, and then it gets a crit Earthquake fainting me. We try again, and the same thing happens, but this time, I don't faint to an Earthquake because it wasn't a crit, so we heal stall the Earthquake until it runs out, then I get a crit Quick Attack fainting the Whiscash. Then Celio falls to Thunderbolt, as does Crawdaunt because it's frail. Then Kingdra comes in, and Thunderbolt gets it to red HP and uses Double Team. It heals and uses a second Double Team. I hit a Thunderbolt paralyzing it. Then it heals and I keep missing Thunderbolts. And it uses Ice Beam for 29 damage. Then he uses Water Pulse for 26 damage. Then I finally hit a Thunderbolt and he uses Double Team again and I run out of Thunderbolt. So I'm forced to use Quick Attacks. Oh, and on top of that, he uses Rest. Yeah, we just cut until it faints, beating Juan, earning us the final gym badge. We then battle Wally in Victory Road. Altaria faints to 2 Thunderbolts and a Quick Attack. Then Delcatty faints to a crit Thunderbolt. Wally then sends out Magneton, which I go for a Rock Smash for low green HP. Magneton uses Supersonic, confusing me. Then I hit in Confusion, and then he uses Tri Attack, and then I freeze. I kept getting hit in Confusion until finally 2 Rock Smashes KO Magneton. Then Roselia goes down to 2 Quick Attacks, one being a crit. Wally then sends out Gardevoir, which I use a Thunderbolt for low yellow HP, and then he uses Calm Mind, but I defeat Gardevoir with a quick Thunderbolt, beating Wally. We make it to the league, wish us luck. And if you're enjoying this long video, make sure to leave a like. I mean, you made it this far, you might as well. Battle Sydney. He sends out Mighty Anna that faints to a Thunderbolt. He then sends out Shiftry, and Iron Tail gets it to half and uses Double Team, so I have trouble hitting it until I said screw it and hit Rock Smash, finishing Shiftry. Then Cacturn faints to an Iron Tail, and Crawdaunt faints to a Thunderbolt, and Absol faints to an Iron Tail, beating Sydney. We battle Phoebe, who sends out Dusclops. He uses Protect, and it hit with a Thunderbolt for red HP, and uses Shadow Punch for 33 damage. Dusclops heals, and 2 Thunderbolts takes it down. The second Dusclops comes in, and Iron Tail hits for green HP, and then he uses Earthquake for 88 damage. Then a second Iron Tail KOs Dusclops. Then Banette comes in and uses Shadow Ball for 64 damage. It lives on 1 HP with Thunderbolt and uses Shadow Ball for 50 damage. Then it dies to Iron Tail. Then Sableye comes in and uses 2 Double Teams, so faints to a Thunderbolt. Then the second Banette faints to a Thunderbolt. We battle Glacia, who is just the easiest out of the bunch. Celio faints to Thunderbolt. Glalie faints to Iron Tail. Second Celio faints to Thunderbolt. Second Glalie faints to Iron Tail. And Walrein faints to Thunderbolt, beating Glacia. We battle Drake, who sends out Shelgon and uses Protect. I use an Iron Tail for yellow HP, and then he uses Rock Tomb for 26 damage. It goes for Protect again, and then it faints to an Iron Tail. Drake sends out Scary Flygon, and I use an Iron Tail for half damage, and uses Earthquake for... oh, it one-shots. We try again. We heal stall the Earthquake until it uses Crunch, which I one-shot with a crit Iron Tail. Drake sends out Altaria, and Thunderbolt gets it to low yellow HP, and then he uses Dragon Dance, and uses Double Edge for 67 damage. Then a second Thunderbolt takes it down. Then Kingdra comes in, and I use a Thunderbolt for low yellow HP, and uses Dragon Dance much like Altaria. Then he uses Body Slam for 68 damage, but I KO with a Thunderbolt. Salamence comes in and uses Dragon Claw for 49 damage. I hit a Thunderbolt for low yellow HP and paralyzing it. He uses Rock Slide for 49 damage and a second Thunderbolt takes it down, beating Drake. We then battle Champion Wallace, who sends out Wailord that faints to a Thunderbolt, and Gyarados as well. Now he sends out Whiscash, which just like before is water ground, so Thunderbolt won't work on it. I go for a quick attack doing little, so I heal stall the earthquakes, and it takes forever to KO, so we go until the last quick attack and it KOs the Whiscash. Wallace sends out Tentacruel, who lives on 1 HP with Thunderbolt and uses Sludge Bomb for 60 damage. Tentacruel heals, then Thunderbolt and quick attack finish Tentacruel. Wallace sends out Ludicolo, who uses Double Team but feints to a crit Thunderbolt. Wallace sends out Milotic, which Thunderbolt gets it to low yellow HP and uses Surf for 52 damage. Milotic heals a bit but feints to a Thunderbolt, beating Champion Wallace. We did it! Now to move on to Sinnoh. Next game we will be playing is Pokemon Platinum, everyone's favorite Pokemon game along with Heart Gold Soul Silver. Anyway, after Emerald, clearly electric types are gonna be a pain. But anyway, the biggest pains will be Byron with Steelix that has Earthquake, though Steelix is pretty slow. Then Volkner because he has electric types. All of Bertha will be a nightmare. Then you know who will be a pain. Gosh, I'm so scared of this one. Anyway, let's get it started. We name our rival Ground. So here's the thing that's horse ass. We spend lots of time because Turtwig keeps using Withdraw so much, and I spam Pound so much, but at the end I faint. Wow! Off to a great start. Anyway, we get Raichu and name it Reactive. We battle Ground and Starly uses Quick Attack for 4 damage and feints to Thunderbolt, and Turtwig feints to 2 Quick Attacks. We battle Roark, who sends out Geodude. I spam Tail Whips and it hits a few Rock Throws, and I hit a few Quick Attacks until Geodude faints. Then he sends out Onix. The Onix uses 2 Screeches, which will make me take more damage. Then it's just Quick Attack versus Rock Throw. I ended on yellow health and Onix feints to a crit Quick Attack. Roark then uses Cranidos, which it does Headbout, does lots of damage. Gee, I wonder whose fault that is. We try again and it dies to a Thunderbolt? Huh? Anyway, we earned the first gym badge. Oh my goodness. I just realized I could have taught Reactive Rock Smash to make Roark easier. This little girl needs our help. We then grab the key.
Lock me up and throw away the key.
We then battle Mars, which Zubat dies to a fat Thunderbolt. Purugly uses Fake Out for 10 damage and feints to 3 Thunderbolts, beating Mars, saving this girl's dad. We then battle Gardenia, who sends out Turtwig. I use a quick attack for low green HP and uses Reflect. Another quick attack keeps it at green. It uses Sunny Day and I use a Thunderbolt getting it to red HP. Then it uses Razor Leaf for 24 damage. Turtwig then heals and I use 2 quick attacks and it uses Razor Leaf for 13 damage. I beat the Turtwig with 2 Thunderbolts and I left at 8 HP from Razor Leaf. Then comes Cherim. He uses Grass Knot for 18 damage and he uses a quick attack and it does nothing. It then uses Safeguard and I use a Tail Whip and attempt to make this easier, however uses Grass Knot for 18 damage again. Then he uses Magical Leaf for 18 damage and attacks for Grass Knot for 16 damage, but Static paralyzes Cherim. I almost died to Magical Leaf, then it heals. Then I spam quick attacks till this thing dies. Then Gardenia sends out Roserade. I use 3 Tail Whips for more damage and uses Stun Spore paralyzing me. It uses Magical Leaf and Grass Knot, all leaving me at 17 HP. Then I use 2 quick attacks, taking it down. However, uses a Magical Leaf in the process, but nonetheless, Roserade is down, earning us the second gym badge. We then battle Jupiter, who sends out Zubat that feints to a fat Thunderbolt. Jupiter sends out Skuntank, who gets to 1 HP and paralyzed with a Thunderbolt. It heals with a Citrus Berry and uses Night Slash for 19 damage, but feints to a second Thunderbolt, beating Jupiter. We then battle Fantina, who sends out a Duskull and uses Shadow Sneak for a sad 7 damage and feints to a Thunderbolt, and as does Haunter. Then Miss Magius comes in, and a Thunderbolt gets it to yellow HP, but it heals with Citrus Berry, and uses a Confuse Ray, of course confusing me. I break through Confusion, and feint Miss Magius with a Thunderbolt, earning us the 3rd gym badge. We battle Ground, who sends out Staravia, and feints to a Thunderbolt, as does Weasel. Grotto comes in, and I use a quick attack which does little and then it uses Razor Leaf for 18 damage, and uses Thunderbolt getting into low yellow HP and uses Withdraw. Then a quick attack and Thunderbolt KO Grotle. Then Ponyta faints to a Thunderbolt, beating ground. We then battle Maylene, who sends out Meditite that faints to a Thunderbolt. Lucario comes in and uses Thunderbolt for a low yellow HP. Lucario uses Drain Punch for 36 damage, then a second Thunderbolt takes down Lucario. Machoke comes in and lives on low red HP to Thunderbolt and uses Rock Doom for... oh, it misses! And faints to a Thunderbolt, earning us the 4th gym badge, already halfway there. We battle Ground, who just won't leave us alone. Historia dies to a Thunderbolt, and Ponyta faints to a crit Thunderbolt. Grotle takes a quick attack and a few Thunderbolts and uses Withdraw the whole time, and it faints while being paralyzed. And we slay Beazle to a Thunderbolt, beating ground. We then battle Crasher Wig, who uses Gyarados that faints to a Thunderbolt because it's 4 times weak. Then Quagsire comes in. I use Tail Whip and it gets a crit Mud Shot for 57 damage. Then a quick attack does nothing and uses Yawn and another Mud Shot for 32 damage, and I cut because it was taking too long. Then Floatzel comes in and outspeeds us and destroys with a Brine. How do we lose to a water type gym? Anyway, we try again, and Floatzel uses Crunch for 36 damage and faints to a crit Thunderbolt, earning us the 5th gym badge. We battle Cyrus, whose Sneasel faints to a Rock Smash. Then Golbat obviously faints to a Thunderbolt, as does Murkrow, meeting Cyrus. Once again, we battle Ground. This one was actually hard. He sends out Staraptor that faints to a Thunderbolt. Rapidash comes in and lives on low yellow HP to Thunderbolt. He uses a Tail Whip but faints to a quick attack. Heracross comes in and lives on half HP with Thunderbolt and uses Brick Break for 67 damage, but I paralyzed it. And a second Thunderbolt takes it down. Now he sends out Scary Torterra. He uses Razor Leaf for 51 damage. I use a Rock Smash doing nothing, uses Leech Seed, and it keeps with Razor Leaf until I faint. So I grab Brick Break as a stronger move, and I delete Rock Smash as I have HM Mules for that, and I teach Reactive Brick Break. We try again, and he uses a crit Razor Leaf for 70 damage. Then it's Brick Break versus Razor Leaf, until he uses Mega Drain for 25 damage, and it faints to a Brick Break. Then Floatzel dies to a Thunderbolt, beating ground. Phew! We then grab the TM Iron Tail, and we then battle Byron. He sends out Magneton and lives on red HP. He uses Tri Attack, leaving us at 75 HP, and faints to 2 Brick Breaks. Byron then sends out Steelix. I use a Tail Whip and uses Sandstorm. I then get Steelix to low yellow HP for Brick Break, and he uses Earthquake for 92 damage and beats Steelix with another Brick Break. Bastodon comes in and uses Stone Edge for 33 damage. Then it faints to 2 Brick Breaks, earning us the 6th gym badge. We then battle Saturn, who sends out Golbat that faints to a Thunderbolt. Toxicroak comes in and Thunderbolt gets it to low HP and uses Revenge, leaving me at 27 HP. Yikes! But Iron Tail takes it down. Bronzor comes in and it faints to a Thunderbolt and 2 Brick Breaks. We battle Mars again, who uses Golbat that faints to a Thunderbolt. Bronzor faints to a Thunderbolt and a Brick Break. Then Perugly faints to a single Brick Break. Then we battle Candace. No Candace dick jokes in the comments. Sneasel comes in and faints to a Brick Break. Piloswine comes in and he misses Iron Tail and uses Earthquake for 123 damage? What the heck? But it faints to an Iron Tail. Abomasnow comes in and uses Avalanche for 33 damage, and it gets paralyzed but faints to an Iron Tail. Frostlass comes in, and I go on this awful streak of missing Iron Tails. It keeps using Blizzard, which it never misses, by the way. We finally hit an Iron Tail, beating Frostlass, earning us the 7th gym badge. We then battle Cyrus, who sends out Sneasel that dies to a Brick Break, Crobat to a Thunderbolt, and Honchkrow as well. How did you even become boss? We then battle Saturn, who uses Golbat that faints to a Thunderbolt, Bronzor to a Thunderbolt and Brick Break. Toxicroak comes in and he uses an Iron Tail, and he uses Poison Jab for 52 damage, but at last it faints to an Iron Tail. We then do a double battle with Mars and Jupiter. 2 Bronzors come in, and he uses a Thunderbolt on 1 Bronzor, and he uses Reflect, causing me to use a Brick Break to destroy the Reflect shield. The other Bronzor uses Light Screen. Then Skuntank comes in, and immediately use Brick Break on the Bronzor to break the Light Screen. And Skuntank uses Poison Jab, killing poor Munchlax. I do half damage with Thunderbolt to Skuntank, and Ground Staraptor uses Close Combat, finishing Bronzor. Thank you! Frogly comes in. I use a Thunderbolt, finishing Skuntank. Then Golbat comes in, I get a crit brick break fainting Purugly. Golbat uses Sludge Bomb fainting Porceraptor, another Golbat comes in. I use a Thunderbolt fainting the first Golbat, Rapidash burns the second Golbat, and I use another Thunderbolt fainting the second Golbat, beating Jupiter and Mars. We then battle Cyrus, which Houndoom faints to a Brick Break, Gyarados to a Thunderbolt. Weavile comes in, uses Fake Out for 19 damage, flinching me, but it paralyzes Weavile. Then Weavile faints to a Brick Break. Then Honchkrow faints to a Thunderbolt, as does Crobat beating Cyrus. Then we just straight up murder Giratina. We battle Volkner, who sends out Jolteon, and a Brick Break gets it to low yellow HP. Jolteon uses Charge Beam for 29 damage and faints to a second Brick Break. Volkner sends out Raichu and gets to red HP with Brick Break and uses Focus Blast for 42 damage. Then Raichu faints to a Brick Break and Thunderbolt. Volkner sends out Electivire, which Brick Break does half, and uses Fire Punch for 36 damage, then faints to a second Brick Break. Then Luxray comes in, and Brick Break leaves it on low grade HP, then uses Crunch for 52 damage. It uses a second Crunch and uses an Iron Tail so I can attack it without getting to healer range. And then it uses Crunch, and then I finish Luxray with a Brick Break, earning us the final gym badge. We made it to the league. Wish us luck! We battle Ground, which he sends out a Staraptor who faints to a Thunderbolt. Then we get to Torterra, which I use an Iron Tail and it gets the low green HP and uses Earthquake for 116 damage. I use another Iron Tail and it gets to red HP and faints me with an Earthquake. I try again and uses Brick Break for even less and uses Earthquake for 130 damage. I heal stall the Earthquakes and I spam Iron Tails, and this fool uses Synthesis, healing itself, eventually faints to a crit Brick Break. Snorlax comes in and uses Earthquake for the same amount of damage, then uses Body Slam, paralyzing me. Brick Break does half, and Snorlax gets stuck in paralysis, and I finish it with another Brick Break. Heracross comes in and uses Close Combat for 129 damage? How? Thankfully, faints to a Thunderbolt. Floatzel comes in, uses Crunch for 47 damage and faints to a Thunderbolt. Rapidash comes in and I use a Thunderbolt for low red HP and uses Will-O-Wisp. Then it faints to a Brick Break, fainting Rapidash. We then battle Airraid, who sends out Yanmega that faints to a Thunderbolt. Heracross comes in, Iron Tail does low yellow HP, and I faint to a crit Brick Break? What? We try again. This time Thunderbolt does the same as Iron Tail and uses Mega Horn for 112 damage and gets paralyzed, then faints to a Thunderbolt. Then Vespiquen faints to a Thunderbolt. Then Scizor comes in and uses X Scizor for 61 damage and uses a Thunderbolt for low yellow HP and uses X Scizor again, but then it gets paralyzed. Then a second Thunderbolt takes down Scizor. Drapion comes in and uses Cross Poison for 54 damage, but it gets paralyzed. Iron Tail gets Drapion to yellow HP, then uses a Berry, then uses another Cross Poison, then Drapion barely hangs on with Thunderbolt. We then live on 50 HP from Cross Poison, Drapion heals, and 2 Thunderbolts take down Drapion, beating Aaron. We then, oh dear, battle Bertha. Y'all have zero idea how scared I am for this. Wishcast comes in and he uses a Brick Break for half damage and uses Sandstorm. Then it faints to a second Brick Break. Hippowdon comes in and Iron Tail gets it to low green HP. He's on, however, I missed a second Iron Tail and live on 11 HP with Earthquake, but that didn't matter because the Sandstorm finished me. We try again. This time I live on 20 HP to Earthquake, then I faint again. So we're gonna have to use X defense and X special defense just for Bertha only, otherwise this will be impossible. If you don't like it and think it's cheating, then too bad. We try again, Iron Tail gets it to low green HP and lowers its defense, and uses Earthquake for 42 damage. Then it faints to a second Iron Tail. Golem comes in and lives on 1 HP to Iron Tail and uses Earthquake for 36 damage. I use another Iron Tail and it lives on red HP and uses Earthquake for 38 damage. Then screw it, I use a Brick Break. Rhyperior faints to a crit Iron Tail. Gliscor comes in and Iron Tail gets it to low green HP and uses Earthquake for 42 damage. Then it's Iron Tail versus Earthquake until it faints to a crit Iron Tail that it cut for time's sake. We battle Flint. Houndoom faints to a Brick Break, Infernape comes in and he uses a Thunderbolt for yellow HP. He uses Earthquake for 104 damage. Then his second Thunderbolt takes it down. Flareon comes in and uses a big overheat and a Thunderbolt which paralyzes it, and Brick Break to beat it. Rapidash comes in and a Brick Break does half, and it stupidly uses Bounce which does nothing and faints to a crit Brick Break. Then Magmortar comes in and I do half with Thunderbolt and heals with a Citrus Berry. Magmortar uses a Flamethrower, fainting me. We try again, and 2 Thunderbolts gets it to red HP and heals a bit. They get a crit Solar Beam for 139 damage, but faints to a Brick Break, but I get burned but that doesn't matter. We battle Lucian. Mr. Mime pops in and Thunderbolt gets it to low yellow HP. The Mime uses Reflect, but not only did Brick Break break the Reflect, but Mr. Mime goes down with it. Bronzong comes in and faints to 2 Thunderbolts. For Espeon, I attempt Tail Whips to make it easier and spam Psychic. Then I use Thunderbolt for low yellow HP, then Espeon faints me with a crit Psychic. We try again, and I use Thunderbolt for the same damage and use the Psychic for 75 damage. Then Espeon faints to a second Thunderbolt. Alakazam comes in and uses Focus Blast for 70 damage. I use a Thunderbolt for a low yellow HP, and it gets me with a crit Psychic? Huh? We try again, and he uses another Focus Blast, then a Thunderbolt for yellow HP, and I live on Psychic, and then it faints to a second Thunderbolt. Gallade comes in and uses Stone Edge for 65 damage. Iron Tail gets it to low yellow HP. Gallade uses Leaf Blade for 57 damage, then it gets paralyzed and lives on 1 HP with Thunderbolt. Why? Gallade heals, so I cut till the last Iron Tail, beating Lucian. We finally battle Cynthia. Spiritomb comes in and Thunderbolt gets it to low yellow HP and it paralyzes it. It uses Shadow Ball for 60 damage, then it faints to an Iron Tail. Garchomp comes in and I use a Brick Break doing little, then it faints me with a crit Earthquake. We try again and use Iron Tail for the same amount of damage, and then use Earthquake fainting me again. We try again at a much higher level, and we live the Earthquake. My plan is to heal stall the Earthquakes. After that, I use an Iron Tail for half damage. Then Garchomp uses Flamethrower for 38 damage. Then uses Giga Impact for 92 damage. Then the Garchomp proceeds to faint to a second Iron Tail. Lucario comes in and hits me with a fat crit Orasphere for 115 damage, but falls to a single Brick Break. Togekiss faints to a single Thunderbolt, as does Milotic. Roserade then faints to a single Iron Tail, beating Cynthia, finishing Sinnoh. Now on to Unova. Goodness, Platinum was a nightmare. I won't be replaying that one anytime soon. Anyway, our next game will be Pokemon Black 2. This one is one of my personal favorites. The only bad counter will be Clay, which obviously is miles easier than Bertha. Oh, I guess Chantal also has a Golurk, which can suck, but I think we can manage. Anyway, let's get it started. We name our rival ground. We then pick Oshawott, that we name Reactive. We battle ground, who sends out a Snivy, and we use a Thunder Shock doing nothing, and use the Tackle for little damage, but Static paralyzes a Snivy. I use a Thunderbolt for half damage, and Snivy uses another Tackle for little damage and fades to a second Thunderbolt, beating Ground. We battle Ground 2 times in a row. He has Snivy, and Thunderbolt does a lot less than last time. Tackle does 5 damage. Then Snivy faints to 3 Thunderbolts, beating Ground. We then collect this Iggy-Majig. Whether you know it or not, I'll explain it to you. What? Why? We battle Sharon. He sends out Patrat, which it lives on 1 HP with Thunderbolt. Patrat uses Work Up and Sharon uses a potion. Then it faints to a Quick Attack and Thunderbolt. Lillipup comes in and Thunderbolt gets it to low yellow HP, and Lillipup uses Tackle for 12 damage. Then it faints to a second Thunderbolt, earning us the first gym badge. Let's catch our HM Mules. We then catch Patrat and name it Kevin. Then we catch a Pidove and name it Terry. Then we catch a Psyduck and name it Perry. We then battle Roxy. Coughing comes in and I use a Thunderbolt getting to red HP. Coughing then uses Assurance for 9 damage, and Coughing uses a Super Potion and Thunderbolt again and gets it to red HP. I use a Quick Attack and lives on 1 HP, then uses Assurance for 19 damage, however my Static paralyzes the Coughing, which dies to a second Quick Attack. Whirlipede comes in and Thunderbolt gets it to half HP. And Whirlipede uses Venoshock for 12 damage. Feeling brave, I use the Thunderbolt again, however it doesn't fully KO, and he uses a Venom Shock, KOs me. We try again. Thunderbolt gets it to half HP and uses Venom Shock for 7 damage. Whirlipede uses Protect, but it faints to a second Thunderbolt, earning us the second gym badge. We then grab the H and Rock Smash for later. We then battle Berg. Swadloon comes in, and Thunderbolt gets it to low green HP and uses String Shot, lowering my speed. After 3 Thunderbolts, Swadloon uses Razor Leaf for 12 damage, then it faints to a Thunderbolt. Then Dwebble comes in and lives on 1 HP because of Sturdy. It then uses Smackdown for 10 damage, and then uses another Smackdown for 10 damage and faints to a Thunderbolt. Leavanny comes in, it misses a Razor Leaf and Thunderbolt gets it to low green HP, and then it faints me with a crit Razor Leaf, huh? We try again, and I use a Thunderbolt for low green HP, paralyzing it. Then use a String Shot, and I use a Quick Attack, getting it to half HP, however it heals with a Citrus Berry. While Leavanny uses String Shots, I use a Thunderbolt, a Quick Attack, and a Thunderbolt, beating Leavanny, earning us the 3rd gym badge. We battle Chorus, which sends out a Magnemite, and Thunderbolt gets up to low red HP. Then he uses a Thunder Wave, paralyzing me. Then Chorus heals, and I use a Quick Attack for a small amount of damage. And then he uses a Sonic Boom for 20 damage, then Magnemite faints to a Thunderbolt and Quick Attack. Clink comes in and uses Gear Grind for a total of 12 damage, and it gets paralyzed and faints to 2 Thunderbolts, beating Chorus. We then battle Lessa. Emolga comes in, and Thunderbolt gets it to red HP. Emolga then heals and faints to a Thunderbolt and Quick Attack. Flaffy comes in, and Quick Attack does little, and it has static, so it paralyzes me. Flaffy uses Takedown for 19 damage, then he uses a Rock Smash, getting it to yellow HP, and he uses Takedown for 31 damage, then a Quick Attack gets it to red HP, then Flaffy faints itself to its own Takedown. Substrika comes in, and a Quick Attack does little. Then Pursuit gets it to 14 damage, then uses Flame Charge for 19 damage, then after that it's just Quick Attack versus Pursuit until I faint. Why do I faint to every single gym battle? Anyway, I tried again, and after a bunch of times of Quick Attacks, and it uses Quick Attacks, and Flame Charges, and Pursuit, we finally beat Substrika, earning us the 4th gym badge. Now we walk on stage. We then make it to Driftvale City. We battle Clay, which I faint quite a bit to. Let's pull up a death counter. Croc Rock comes in, and Rock Smash leaves it at green HP. He uses Bulldoze for 54 damage, and then he uses a second Bulldoze, fainting me. We try again, and I use a Rock Smash for the same amount of damage as does the Bulldoze on the Croc Rock, and it faints to a second Rock Smash. Then Sand Slash comes in. I use a Quick Attack for a little damage, and he uses Bulldoze for 54 damage. Then Sand Slash hits me with a crit Fury Cutter, then hits me with a Crush Claw for 21 damage, but gets paralyzed. And after 2 Rock Smashes, it faints me with a Bulldoze. We try again. After 1 Rock Smash, it faints me with a Bulldoze. Okay, this one actually kind of makes sense. We try again, and Brick Break does a little more. While I use Brick Break, Sand Slash uses a Bulldoze with 2 Crush Claws until it finally faints. Excadrill comes in, and I faint 2 more times. Excadrill uses 3 Bulldozes, and I hit a Brick Break for half damage, but ding ding ding, it heals with a Citrus Berry. Then thankfully, he uses Rock Slide for 12 damage. Then Brick Break gets it to right HP and heals with a Hype Potion. Then he uses a Rock Slide and Metal Claw for a total of 46 damage. Then a Brick Break gets it to half HP and uses Slash for 26 damage and faints to a second Brick Break, earning us the 5th gym badge. Excadrill was probably like, you know what? You've been through a lot. I'll throw. We then battle Skyla. Swoobat comes in and faints to a Thunderbolt, as does Swanna because it's 4 times weak to Electric. Skarmory comes in and lives on 1 HP only because of Sturdy. Skarmory uses Agility but faints to a Thunderbolt and Quick Attack, earning us the 6th gym badge. Phew! That was a breath of fresh air. We battle Ground again, who sends out Unpheasant that faints to a Thunderbolt. Superior comes in and Irontail gets it to low green HP. Irontail then gets it to red HP and uses Leaf Blade for 102 damage. Superior then heals but faints to 2 Brick Breaks. Simisear comes in and faints to a single Thunderbolt, beating Ground. We then battle Drayden, who sends out Jordigan. We miss an Irontail and uses Crunch for 51 damage. Irontail then gets it to low green HP. It then uses Crunch for 44 damage. Static then paralyzes the Jordigan. Jordan then uses Crunch and Dragon Tail.
Dragon Tail, it's almost time for Dragon.
Iron Tail gets it to red HP and uses a second Dragon Tail. While Jordan uses Dragon Tails, I use an Iron Tail, Brick Break, and then Iron Tail again, finally fainting Jordan. Flygon comes in, uses Earth Power for 84 damage. My plan is to heal stall the Earth Powers. Then uses Rock Slide and I hit an Iron Tail for low green HP. As Flygon keeps spamming Rock Slides, I use a Brick Break getting it to low yellow HP. Then use another Brick Break and it lives on low red HP. And he uses a crit Dragon Tail fainting me. However, I won't let this slide because it was a giant pain in a booty to heal stall the Earth Powers. Flygon uses a Rock Slide for 31 damage but faints to a Quick Attack. Haxorus comes in and uses Dragon Dance. That looks deadly. He uses the second Dragon Dance and he uses an Iron Tail getting it to low green HP. Then to my surprise, Haxorus misses a Dragon Tail and faints to an Iron Tail, earning us the 7th gym badge. We battle Marlon, who is the easiest by far along with Skyla. Caracosta comes in and lives on 1 HP to Thunderbolt only because of Sturdy, and uses Shell Smash and heals. However, I use a Quick Attack and Thunderbolt taking down Caracosta. Wailord comes in and faints to a Thunderbolt, as just Jellicent, earning us the final gym badge. We battle Chorus again. He sends out Magneton. I then use a Quick Attack for Sturdy, and uses a Thunder Wave paralyzing me. He uses a Tri Attack for 35 damage. I use a Brick Break for low yellow HP, and he uses another Tri Attack but faints to a Brick Break. Magnezone comes in and uses a Quick Discharge for 54 damage. Magnezone uses a Crit Flash Cannon for 54 damage. It then uses another Flash Cannon and Brick Break and gets it to red HP, and then uses a full restore. And then Flash Cannon, Brick Break, you know the drill. And then he uses Explosion! I'll take it. It did do a lot to me though. Clink Clank comes in and uses 2 Shift Gears, and a Brick Break gets it to half HP. It misses a Giga Impact and faints to a second Brick Break. Behem comes in and uses Calm Mind, and Thunderbolt gets it to low green HP. Then uses Psychic for 118 damage. Then a second Thunderbolt gets it to red HP. It then uses another Psychic for 154 damage? Jeez, it wasn't even a crit! Then Behem faints to a Quick Attack. Metang comes in and uses Rock Slide for 25 damage. It then uses a Zen Headbutt for 39 damage. And then Static kicks in and paralyzes Metang. Then Metang faints to a 2 Thunderbolts, beating Chorus. Then we battle Black Hero. I miss a dang Iron Tail 2 times. Then I actually hit one getting it to low yellow HP, but I faint to a Freeze Shock. We then try again and I hit an Iron Tail for a low yellow HP and use a Slash and faints to a Brick Break. We battle Getsus, that sends out Cofagrigus and it faints to a crit Thunderbolt. Seismitoad comes in and uses a Brick Break getting it to low green HP and uses Earthquake for 116 damage and heal stall the Earthquakes. Afterwards, I use a Brick Break for low yellow HP. It then uses Drain Punch for 31 damage, and then it faints to another Brick Break. Drapion comes in and has Earthquake too. Time to heal stall. It then gets a crit Poison Fang, and does half damage and poisons me. Afterwards, Drapion faints to 2 Thunderbolts. Hydreigon comes in and Brick Break gets it to red HP. Hydreigon uses Dragon Rush for 91 damage, and he uses a full restore and faints to 2 Brick Breaks. Electros comes in and uses a Brick Break for low green HP, and then uses Crunch for 40 damage and gets paralyzed. He uses another Brick Break, getting it to red HP and uses Crunch for 39 damage, and then it faints to a Quick Attack. Toxicroak comes in and he uses a Sucker Punch for 38 damage, Thunderbolt gets it to low yellow HP, Toxicroak then uses Poison Jab for 57 damage, and it faints to a second Thunderbolt, beating Getsus. We battleground one more time. He sends out Unpheasant, which faints to a Thunderbolt. Bouffalon comes in and Brick Break gets it to low yellow HP. Head Charge gets it to 112 damage, Jesus! And then it faints to 2 more Brick Breaks. Simisear comes in, uses Flamethrower for 73 damage, and Thunderbolt gets it to red HP and uses a second Flamethrower. And then it fades to a Thunderbolt. Superior comes in and uses Leaf Blade for 66 damage. I missed an Iron Tail and uses Dragon Tail and brings out Kevin? We come back and get a crit Iron Tail, getting it to low red HP. It then uses Coil and faints to a Quick Attack, beating Ground. We are now at the league. Wish us luck. We battle Chantal, who sends out Cofagrigus, and Thunderbolt gets it to red HP and paralyzes. It uses Shadow Ball, doing 39 damage. It then uses a full restore and faints to 2 Thunderbolts. Golurk comes in and I miss an Iron Tail, use Earthquake for 132 damage. I attempt to heal stall the Earthquakes and use Shadow Punch doing little. So I hit an Iron Tail doing half damage, however it faints me with an Earthquake. We try again and do half damage with an Iron Tail, and I live on 18 HP with Earthquake. I outspeed and hit Golurk with an Iron Tail. Here's where it gets bad. Chandelure comes in and uses Energy Ball for 68 damage. I use a Thunderbolt getting it to red HP, and then it faints me with a Fire Blast. We try again and use a Shadow Ball for 69 damage. Nice. It then lives on yellow HP and heals a bit with Citrus Berry, and then it faints me with a crit Fire Blast. We try again and it immediately faints me with a crit Fire Blast? What? We try again and use a Psychic for 53 damage. I then get it to red HP with Thunderbolt, and then heals a bit with Citrus Berry. And thank Bidoof God I live a Fire Blast. Then I faint Chandelure with a Thunderbolt. Drifblim comes in and uses a Psychic for 37 damage, but faints to a single Thunderbolt, beating Chantal. We then battle Grimsley. Lightbard comes in and uses Fake Out as they tend to do, but faints to a Brick Break. Crocodile comes in and Brick Break gets it to red HP and uses Rock Tomb surprisingly for 28 damage. He uses a full restore and Brick Break gets it to red HP again. Then, oh shoot! He uses Earthquake leaving me at 5 HP, but thankfully faints to a Brick Break. Scrafty comes in and uses Poison Jab for 34 damage, then it faints to 2 Brick Breaks. Bishop comes in and thankfully faints to a fat Brick Break, beating Grimsley. We then battle Caitlyn, who sends out Musharna, and it lives on half HP to Thunderbolt. He uses Yawn but faints to a Thunderbolt. Reuniclus comes in and uses Psychic for 55 damage but faints to a crit Thunderbolt. Sigalith comes in and faints to a Thunderbolt. Gothitelle comes in and Thunderbolt gets it to yellow HP and it heals a bit with Citrus Berry. It then uses a Psychic for 51 damage and faints to a Thunderbolt, beating Caitlyn. All in all, not too bad. We then battle Marshall, who sends out Throw. Thunderbolt gets it to low yellow HP, and he uses Bulldoze for 56 damage, and then it faints to a Thunderbolt. Then Meowscarada faints to a Thunderbolt. Conkeldurr comes in and Thunderbolt gets it to yellow HP, however it heals a bit with Citrus Berry. It uses Hammer Arm for 94 damage. Conkeldurr then gets paralyzed and faints to a Thunderbolt. Sock comes in and uses Brick Break for 70 damage. Thunderbolt then gets it to red HP and uses a second Brick Break. Sock then uses a full restore and faints to 2 Brick Breaks, beating Marshall. We then battle Champion Iris, who sends out Hydreigon. Brick Break gets it to low yellow HP and he uses a Dragon Rush for 57 damage. He uses a full restore and faints to 2 Brick Breaks. Aggron comes in and I use a Quick Attack for the thought of it having Sturdy and uses Automize, raising its speed, however Aggron faints to a Brick Break. Haxorus comes in and Iron Tail gets it to low green HP and uses a Dragon Dance. Then I faint to an Earthquake. Then I use a Brick Break for the same amount of damage and it goes for a Dragon Dance again. I heal stall the Earthquakes and then I use an Iron Tail, leaving it at red HP. And then it uses Dragon Dance and faints to Brick Break. Druddigan comes in and I miss an Iron Tail and uses Dragon Tail for 62 damage, but it gets paralyzed. I then use an Iron Tail, getting it to low yellow HP, and then uses another harmful Dragon Tail, but it faints to a Brick Break. Lapras comes in and uses Surf for 48 damage, but faints to a Thunderbolt. And so does Archeops, beating Champion Iris. Phew! Now let's move on to Kalos. After Platinum, that game was such a breath of fresh air. Anyway, the next game we're going to be playing is Pokemon Y. Why Pokemon Y? Because Yveltal is really cool. Anyway, so we won't be able to get Raichu right away, so we'll use a Pikachu in the meantime. There isn't really a ground specialist in this game, so I think this game will be relatively easy. Wait, actually Ramos's Go-Go has Bulldoze. Okay, aside from him, this should be kind of easy. Anyway, let's get it started. We pick our name, which was Raichu Master. We then pick Froakie. Shauna uses Fennekin, which I of course win with 2 bubbles, but it tries for an Ember that does nothing. We then find our Pikachu, which we catch. We then battle Viola, who sends out Surskit, who uses a Quick Attack for 5 damage. I use a Thunder Shock for yellow HP. Surskit uses a second Quick Attack, however Static kicks in and paralyzes Surskit. Then it faints to a second Thunder Shock. Vivian comes in and a Thunder Shock gets it to low green HP. It then uses Harden and a second Thunder gets it to low yellow HP. It uses Infestation for 6 damage, it then uses Tackle for 9 damage, then Static comes in and paralyzes Vibion, and then it faints to another Thunder Shock, earning us the first gym badge. We then battle the Professor, who sends out Bulbasaur. I use a quick attack for low green HP and uses Vine Whip for 9 damage. I use a second quick attack for yellow HP and uses a Leech Seed. I almost faint Bulbasaur with a quick attack, but he uses Tackle for 6 damage, then faints to a second quick attack. Squirtle then comes in and faints to an Electro Ball, as does Charmander, and we win. We then pick Squirtle. What's this? A Lucario? Oh, it's Karina, the adorable Lucario lady. The Lucario likes me, huh? We battle Tierno. He sends out Corphish that falls to an Electro Ball. We go to the mansion that you had to pay €1,000 to get inside. Then the most useless part of the game. Well, to get a Snorlax, but otherwise bad. Also, why is there fireworks during the day? 0 out of 10. We then murder the Snorlax for making us see fireworks during the day. We then do a double battle with Trevor and Tierno. Who sends out Pikachu and Corphish. Fletchling uses quick attack for low green HP on Pikachu, but its static paralyzes it. I use an Electro Ball destroying Corphish. Pikachu does a surprisingly small amount of damage on Fletchling with Thunder Shock. Then it's a quick attack off until Pikachu faints. Then Flabébé comes in and quick attack and Electro Ball gets Flabébé to red HP. It then uses Fairy Wind doing nothing to Fletchling and it faints to a quick attack. We then grab the Sail Fossil like a good boy. We then grab the Thunderstorm, finally evolving Reactive. We then battle Grant, who sends out Amora. We do Electro Ball for half damage and uses Rock Tomb for 28 damage. And then it lives on red HP to another Electro Ball. It misses a Rock Tomb but uses a Hyper Potion. I then use a Thunder Wave paralyzing it, then Amora faints to an Electro Ball and Quick Attack. Tyrone comes in and I use a Thunder Wave right away. Then it faints to 2 Electro Balls, earning us the second gym badge. We meet again with Adorable Lady, who we battle and sends out Lucario. I use a Thunder Wave and use a crit power-up punch for 37 damage, however it faints to an Electro Ball. The second Lucario comes in and I use another Thunder Wave and uses Metal Sound, lowering my Sibidef. And just like the last one, it faints to an Electro Ball, beating Karina. We then battle Serena, who sends out Meowstic. Electro Ball gets it to low green HP and uses Light Screen. Now Electro Ball doesn't do jack, and it uses Disarming Voice for 8 damage. Electro Ball still does nothing and uses Psybeam for 18 damage, also confusing me. I hit myself, however it uses Disarming Voice again. The stupid Light Screen finally wears off, and uses Electro Ball KOing Meowstic. Absol comes in and uses Quick Attack for 22 damage. Electro Ball does half and uses a quick attack for 32 damage, then it faints to a second Electro Ball. Quilladin comes in and uses Bite for 22 damage. I use a Thunder Wave and he uses Needle Arm for 39 damage. It then uses a Bite and Electro Ball and it does half, and it does another Bite and faints to a second Electro Ball, beating Serena. We then battle Karina, who sends out Mienfoo. It uses a Fake Out for 16 damage, but Static kicks in and paralyzing it. Then Mienfoo faints to an Electro Ball. Halucha comes in and Electro Ball gets it to red HP and uses Flying Press for 27 damage. Halucha heals and I get a crit quick attack for a bit of damage and it faints with a crit Electro Ball. Back to my crits? Huh? Machoke comes in and I use a Thunder Wave. And Machoke gets stuck in paralysis and faints to an Electro Ball, earning us the third gym badge. We had to do that Mega Lucario battle, and I forgot to Mega Evolve, and I get a Power Punch, but it only does low green HP, however the other Lucario faints me with a crit Power Up Punch. We try again, this time I remember to Mega Evolve, and I faint the Lucario with a crit Power Up Punch. We then battle Serena, who sends out Meowstic and uses Fake Out, however Static kicks in and faints to a single Electro Ball. Absol comes in, and while he uses quick attacks, as always, it faints to Electro Ball. Quilladin comes in and uses Needle Arm for 34 damage and Static kicks in. I then use an Electro Ball for low yellow HP and he uses 2 Needle Arms for 60 damage but faints to second Electro Ball, beating Serena. We then battle Ramos, who sends out Jump Bluff. I use a Thunder Wave and uses Leech Seed and faints to a single Electro Ball. Go-Go comes in and I use a Thunder Wave. Electro Ball doesn't do too much and uses Bulldoze. Problem is, Bulldoze does too much, so I have to wait till Paralysis comes in, but it's fully healed by then due to Leech Seed, so I have to heal stall. Afterwards, and uses Grass Knot for 28 damage, then Go-Go faints to an Electro Ball. Weeping Bell comes in and he uses a Thunder Wave, and he uses Acid for 15 damage. He gets to red HP to Electro Ball, and he uses Acid again, however it heals and faints to a Quick Attack and Electro Ball, earning us the 4th Gym Badge. We then battle Clement, who sends out Emolga. Electro Ball gets it to red HP and uses Aerial Ace for 10 damage. Emolga heals and faints to a Quick Attack and Electro Ball. Heliolisk comes in and Rock Smash gets it to half HP and uses Thunderbolt for 21 damage. It then uses Quick Attack for 19 damage but faints to a second Rock Smash. Magneton comes in and Rock Smash gets it to low green HP and uses Electric Terrain. Rock Smash gets it to red HP, it then uses Thunderbolt for 32 damage. Magneton heals and Rock Smash gets it to half HP. I then nearly peed my pants when I saw Mirror Shot, but it didn't do too much, and the real move is Mirror Coat, I think. Then it faints to a second Rock Smash, earning us the 5th Gym Badge. We then battle Serena, once again, who sends out Meowstic. I use a Thunderbolt for low yellow HP and uses Light Screen. Meowstic faints to a second Thunderbolt. Chestnut comes in, and I use a Thunder Wave and Thunderbolt that does nothing because of that stupid Light Screen. Then Seed Bomb does 70 damage. After he uses Bite, Light Screen wears off, Thunderbolt does a little more, and Seed Bomb still does a lot. A second Thunderbolt gets it to low yellow HP, it then uses Bite for 33 damage. Then it faints to another Thunderbolt. Absol comes in. I use a Rock Smash getting it to low yellow HP, it then uses Bite for 52 damage, then it faints to a second Rock Smash beating Serena. We then battle Valerie, who sends out Mawile that faints to a Thunderbolt. Mr. Mime comes in, and I use a Thunder Wave and he uses Reflect. Thunderbolt gets it to low yellow HP, however he uses Light Screen. Now it lives on 1 HP with Thunderbolt. Mr. Mime heals and Thunderbolt does nothing. A second Thunderbolt gets it to yellow HP and he uses Psychic for 43 damage. Then it lives on red HP with Thunderbolt and he uses a second Psychic for 45 damage and it heals, and then it faints to 2 Thunderbolts and the 2 screens fade away. Sylveon comes in and Quick Attack does 17 damage. Static kicks in and Thunderbolt leaves it at green HP. He uses Dazzling Gleam for 49 damage. Then it faints to 2 Thunderbolts, earning us the 6th Gym Badge. Then we battle Serena again. Meowstic comes in for a Fake Out and he uses a Thunder Wave and he uses a Disarming Voice. Then it faints to 2 Thunderbolts. Vaporeon comes in and Thunderbolt gets to red HP and uses Aurora Beam for 27 damage, then faints to a Thunderbolt. Chestnut comes in and I use a Thunder Wave, however both Seed Bomb and Brick Break do too much damage and I have to rely on Paralysis until I whittle it down eventually until it faints. Absol comes in and uses Rock Smash, gets it to low green HP and uses a scary Swords Dance and thankfully faints to a second Rock Smash. Then we battle Olympia, who sends out a Sigilyph that faints to a Thunderbolt. Slowking comes in and Thunderbolt gets it to low yellow HP. Slowking uses Yawn and it heals lots of times, and it took 3 more Thunderbolts to KO Slowking. Meowstic comes in and uses Fake Out, and then Thunderbolt gets it to yellow HP and uses Psychic for 48 damage. Then it faints to another Thunderbolt, earning us the 7th Gym Badge. We battle Lysander, who is a joke. He sends out Mienfoo that dies to a Thunderbolt, as does Gyarados. Pyroar lives on yellow HP and gets paralyzed. He uses Fire Blast for 46 damage but faints to a second Thunderbolt. Murkrow comes in and faints to a Thunderbolt, beating Lysander. Then we battle Lysander again.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
He sends out Mienshao that faints to a Thunderbolt, as does Gyarados. Pyroar again lives on yellow HP and uses Fire Blast and faints to another Thunderbolt, you know the story. This time he has a Honchkrow, however it faints to a crit Thunderbolt, beating Lysander. We then encounter Yveltal, who we murder. We battle Lysander one last time. He sends out Mienshao and Yveltal is here. We switch back and Mienshao uses Acrobatics for 45 damage, but Static kicks in and it faints to 1 Thunderbolt. Pyro comes in and Thunderbolt gets it to yellow HP and uses Fire Blast for 66 damage, but it faints to Thunderbolt, yeah, like the last time. Honchkrow comes in and uses a crit Night Slash, feigning me. We try again and he uses an Aerial Ace for 33 damage and it faints to a crit Thunderbolt. Gyarados comes in, who is Mega Evolved, however it faints to a crit Thunderbolt, beating Lysander for the last time. We battle Shauna, who sends out Delcatty that faints to a Brick Break. Goodra comes in and Brick Break gets it to low green HP and uses a crit Earthquake, feigning me. We try again and I use a Brick Break for red HP and I live an Earthquake and it faints and I use a Brick Break. Delphox comes in and uses a Mystical Fire for 69 damage. Nice. Then Thunderbolt does nothing and uses a Psychic, leaving me at 3 HP. I use a Thunderbolt getting it to half HP. Then he uses a Calm Mind, then a Thunderbolt gets it to red HP, and he uses a Psychic for 109 damage. Then it faints to a Thunderbolt, beating Shauna. Then we battle Tierna. Talonflame comes in and uses Acrobatics for 41 damage, but faints to a Thunderbolt. Roserade comes in and I use a Thunder Wave, and he uses 2 Plateau Blizzards, and it gets confused. I get lucky and I spam Thunderbolts, and the whole time it hits itself in confusion. Kron comes in and gets KO'd to 1 Thunderbolt. We then battle Trevor, who sends out Fake Reactive. I use a Brick Break for half damage and uses a Nuzzle for a measly 9 damage, and a second Thunderbolt takes it down. Florges comes in and Thunderbolt leaves it at green HP and uses Misty Terrain, and a Thunderbolt gets it to yellow HP, then he uses Confide, which is a really weird animation. Florges barely hangs on to my Thunderbolt and uses Moon Blast for 61 damage. One more Thunderbolt takes it down. Aerodactyl comes in and Thunderbolt gets it to red HP. It then uses Supersonic, confusing me, however we break through and Thunderbolt takes down Aerodactyl, beating Trevor. We battle Wolfric, who sends out Abomasnow. I use a Brick Break for half damage, I use Energy Ball for 55 damage, I then faint to an Energy Ball and an Ice Shard. We try again and uses an Ice Beam for 55 damage and I freeze? It uses an Energy Ball, but I finally hit a Brick Break, destroying Abomasnow. Cryogonal comes in and faints to a Brick Break. Avalog comes in and Brick Break does little, and he uses Curse. A second Brick Break doesn't even get it to yellow, and he uses Avalanche and I faint. We try again and I use a Thunder Wave. And then Avalog faints to a Thunderbolt, earning us the final gym badge. We then need to prove we are worthy. This asshole sends out Carbink. I use a Grass Knot and it does nothing, but its Moonblast does nothing either. A Thunderbolt also does little, but we paralyze it. It then uses Stealth Rock. I use a Brick Break, leaving it at low yellow HP. I use another Moonblast, but faints to a Thunderbolt. Kingdra comes in and I use a Thunderbolt for low yellow HP, and I paralyze it and uses Dragon Pulse for 49 damage. Then a second Thunderbolt KOs Kingdra. Then they send out Raichu and uses a measly crit Nuzzle that did nothing. I use a Brick Break for half damage and uses another tiny Nuzzle, and it faints to another Brick Break. I guess we prove ourselves worthy. Then battle Serena, who sends out Meowstic. He uses a Fake Out, but Static kicks in and 2 Thunderbolts takes it down. Vaporeon comes in and faints to a Thunderbolt. Altaria comes in and a Thunderbolt gets it to half HP and uses Dragon Pulse for 37 damage. Then a second Thunderbolt takes it down. Chestnut comes in and uses a Thunder Wave, and a Seed Bomb leaves me at 38 HP. I use a Brick Break, which does little, and he uses Seed Bomb for a lot. Then a Seed Bomb versus Brick Break until I faint and try again. Then we keep going until I eventually faint Chestnut. Absol comes in and uses a crit Night Slash for 135 damage. Then it faints to a single Brick Break, beating Serena. We then battle Malva. Pyroar comes in and Brick Break gets it to red HP and uses Flamethrower for 90 damage. Pyroar heals and Brick Break gets it to red HP and heals again and faints to 2 Brick Breaks. Torkoal comes in and uses Earthquake for over half damage, so I heal a stall and he uses a Thunderbolt getting to red HP while he uses Curse, then it faints to a Thunderbolt. Talonflame comes in and faints to a Thunderbolt, then Chandelure faints to a crit Thunderbolt, beating Malva. Battle Wickstrom. Klefki comes in and Thunderbolt gets it to low yellow HP and uses Torment. Then it faints to a crit Brick Break. Probopass comes in and I use a Grass Knot for Sturdy and he uses Earth Power for 66 damage, then it faints to a Brick Break. Aegislash comes in and uses King Shield, protecting itself. Then he uses a Thunder Wave and he uses Shadow Claw for 121 damage. And then he uses a second Shadow Claw and he uses a King Shield. Then I use a Grass Knot because I'm stuck in Torment. However, I strike a Thunderbolt, fainting Aegislash. Scizor comes in and I use a Thunder Wave. Then he uses X-Scissor for half damage. And a Thunderbolt gets it to low yellow HP and uses another X-Scissor. Then Scizor faints to a Brick Break, beating Wickstrom. Seabolt is just the easiest one ever. We one-shot Clawitzer, then Gyarados, then Barbaracle, then finally Starmie, already being Seabold. And Drosna isn't as easy. Regality comes in and I use a Thunder Wave. I use a Thunderbolt for less than half damage, then use a Sludge Bomb for 52 damage. Then it's Thunderbolt versus Sludge Bomb till it heals, then Thunderbolt and Sludge Bomb till it heals again. I use a Grass Knot beforehand, and I cut until the last Brick Break because this is absurd. Altaria comes in and uses a Thunder Wave and uses Dragon Pulse for 43 damage. I use a Thunderbolt for half damage, then Altaria uses Sing and Dragon Pulse but faints to a Thunderbolt. Noivern comes in and uses a Thunder Wave and uses Dragon Pulse for 58 damage. I use a Thunderbolt for half HP and uses another Dragon Pulse but faints to a Thunderbolt. Draudigan comes in and uses Dragon Tail for 87 damage, then Static kicks in. I use a Break for low green HP and use another Dragon Tail, leaving me at 14 HP. But it's paralyzed, and a Thunderbolt and a Break takes it down, though Rough Skin does kinda suck. Anyway, we beat Drosna. We battle Champion Diantha. Hawlucha comes in and faints to a Thunderbolt. Tyrantrum comes in and Break gets it to half HP, then Head Smash leaves me at 13 HP from full health, and Static kicks in, but luckily Tyrantrum took lots of recoil damage where it faints. Goodra comes in and uses Dragon Pulse for 52 damage. I use a Thunder Wave and Break for low green HP and uses another Dragon Pulse. Then it's Break versus Dragon Pulse until it faints. Aurora descends and uses Reflect but faints to a Break. Gorgeist comes in and uses a Thunder Wave and a Thunderbolt doing half damage, and he uses Trick or Treat turning me into a Ghost type and it faints to a second Thunderbolt. Then Gardevoir comes in and it's Mega Evolved. I use a Thunder Wave and Thunderbolt for low green HP and use a Shadow Ball for half damage. Then I almost KO it with a Thunderbolt and then it heals. Then I get a crit Thunderbolt, getting it to low yellow HP and it heals again. Then 2 Thunderbolts get it to red HP and it hits me with a Shadow Ball, leaving me at red HP. Luckily it faints to another Thunderbolt, beating Diantha. Phew! We did it. Now on to Alola. That was certainly something. Our next game will be Pokemon Moon because I couldn't set up Ultra Moon unfortunately. What's interesting is that because we're in Alola, we'll be using Alolan Raichu. Alolan Raichu is an electric psychic type, which is very unique. But anyway, this game shouldn't be too bad. Well, Nanu will be a pain, and so will Guzma. And Hapu, who is gonna suck but we can do it. And I guess Acerola will suck a lot, but we can figure it out. Other than those, this shouldn't be too hard of a game, I don't think. Anyway, let's get it started. We pick Popplio, and we battle Hal. Although, we don't have Raichu yet, so it doesn't matter. We find and catch a Pichu and name it Reactive. We battle Captain Lima, who sends out Yungoos. I use a Thunderbolt for red HP, and it uses Tackle for 9, and Static kicks in. Then Thunderbolt takes it down. Smeargle comes in, I use a Thunder Wave, and use the Tackle for 18 damage. He uses a full heal, and a Thunderbolt gets it to low red HP, and he uses another Tackle, and Static kicks in, and faints to a Thunderbolt. Then Reactive evolves into a Pikachu. We then battle Totem Alolan Raticate, who faints to a single Break. We evolve Reactive into a Raichu. We battle Howl, who sends out Pikachu that faints to a Psychic, and then Litten faints to a Thunderbolt. Then we battle Hollow, who sends out Mankey that faints to a Psychic, as does Crabrawler. Then Makuhita comes in and uses Fake Out, then faints to a single Psychic. Then we battle Hal, who uses Pikachu, who uses a Quick Attack for 5 damage that it faints to a crit Psychic. Torracat comes in and Thunderbolt gets it to red HP and uses Fire Fang for 28 damage, then faints to another Thunderbolt. We then battle Totem Wishy-Washy that faints to a Thunderbolt. Then we battle Totem Salazzle. Psychic does half damage, then he uses Toxic Poisoning me and calls in Salandit. I use another Psychic fainting Salazzle, then Salandit uses Venoshock and Toxic that faints me. We try again and Psychic does red damage. It then uses Torment, it calls in Salandit, and Thunderbolt KOs Salazzle. Salandit uses Venoshock for little damage and faints to a Psychic. Then we battle Totem Lurantis. We miss a Thunder Wave and uses Leaf Blade for 52 damage. Then it calls in Trumbeak. We use a Psychic on Lurantis for half damage and uses another Leaf Blade. And we avoid Trumbeak's Supersonic, then a Psychic faints the Lurantis. I hit in Confusion and Trumbeak uses Pluck and Screech and I hit myself again. Then he uses Pluck and Screech until I finally hit a Thunderbolt. Then we battle Olivia, who sends out Nose Pass. Brick Break does low yellow HP and uses Rock Slide for 22 damage. Then it faints to another Brick Break. Lichen Rock comes in and Brick Break gets it to low red HP. I live on 6 HP to crunch and it faints to another Brick Break. Then Bulldor comes in and Brick Break gets it to low green HP and uses Headbutt for 21 damage. I use a Brick Break for low red HP while he uses another Headbutt and it faints to another Brick Break. We battle Howl again and it's a giant Psychic off until it faints. Torracat comes in and I use a Thunderbolt for low yellow HP and uses Bite for 38 damage. Then it faints to another Thunderbolt. Then Leafeon comes in and uses a Giga Drain for 18 damage. Psychic gets it to low yellow HP and uses another Giga Drain and faints to a Psychic. Then we battle Totem Vikavolt. Psychic does low green HP and I faint to a crit Bug Bite. We try again at a higher level, and a Psychic does half damage and uses Charge and it calls in Charge-a-Bug and it faints to a second Psychic. Charge-a-Bug uses Bite for 30 damage, then it faints to one Psychic. Then we battle Guzma, who sends out Golisopod that faints to a Thunderbolt and Ariados to a Psychic. We battle Mimikyu. Thunderbolt does 0 damage as it has Disguise. Then it uses Mimic, then it calls Haunter. Haunter uses Sucker Punch and uses a Thunderbolt for half damage and paralyze Mimikyu. Then I faint to a Shadow Claw. We try again and I use a Psychic but it has Disguise. I get to red HP with Shadow Claw and it calls Haunter. I heal stall the Shadow Claw, it uses Astonish for 24 damage, then Haunter uses Nightshade and I KO Mimikyu with a Thunderbolt. Then Haunter uses Hypnosis and Nightshade and faints to a Psychic. We battle Guzma, who sends out Golisopod that faints to a Thunderbolt and Ariados to a Psychic. We battle Nanu, who sends out Sableye. He uses Fake Out and Thunderbolt, gets it to half HP and uses Shadow Ball for 64 damage, then faints to a second Thunderbolt. Kakarot faints to a Brick Break. Alolan Persian comes in and Brick Break gets it to a low green HP and I faint to a Dark Pulse. We try again and Persian uses Fake Out. I use Thunder Wave and he uses the Z move Black Hole Eclipse, which no shot I live. We try again and I use the Z move Gigavolt Havoc, defeating Persian. We battle Guzma, who sends out Golisopod. I faint to a First Impression. We try again and I live on 1 HP with a Focus Sash. Then Golisopod faints to a Thunderbolt. Masquerain comes in and uses Bug Bust for 110 damage, but it faints to a Thunderbolt. Then Pinsir comes in and I faint to an X-Scissor. We try again and Pinsir goes down to 2 Thunderbolts. Ariados comes in and faints to a Psychic. We battle Luzamine, who sends out Clefable. Thunderbolt gets it to low green HP and he uses Moonblast for 37 damage. I use a Psychic for low yellow HP and he uses Moonblast. Then it lives on red HP with Psychic and we uses Moonblast once more, then faints to a Thunderbolt. Mismagius comes in and uses a Shadow Ball for 96 damage. I use a Thunder Wave and uses Power Gem for 33 damage. Thunderbolt gets it to low green HP. I use another Thunderbolt getting it to red HP and uses Power Gem, and it faints to another Thunderbolt. Lilligant comes in and uses Teeter Dance. Then he uses a series of Petal Dances. Then he uses another Teeter Dance and I hit myself in confusion and he uses Petal Dances again. And a Teeter Dance until it faints to a Psychic. Miloto comes in and Thunderbolt gets it to low yellow HP and uses Hydro Pump for 69 damage.
Nice.
Then it faints to another Thunderbolt. Beware comes in and Psychic gets it to red HP and I faint to a Takedown. However, it takes Recoil, fainting Beware, so we win. Let me battle Hapu. Please ignore the glitched face. Alolan Dugtrio comes in and faints to a Brick Break. Mudsail comes in and Psychic gets it to low green HP. Then he uses the Z move Tectonic Rage, which, yeah, no shot I live, but cool animation. So we try again and I use a Focus Sash. However, I faint to an Earthquake. Then I cut, which it fainted to 2 Psychics. Flygon comes in and uses Earth Power for 108 damage, then it faints to a crit Psychic. Then Gastrodon comes in and uses Mud Bomb for 62 damage. Then it's Psychic versus Mud Bomb until he uses Recover! I then cut to the last Psychic because obviously it was taking too long. Then we battle Totem Komodo. It then lives on yellow HP to Psychic. It then uses Clanging Scale for 69 damage. No more 69 jokes. It then calls in Scizor. Komodo uses Protect, and then there's X-Scissor, Clanging Scales, and Fury Cutter. However, I faint Komodo with the Psychic, and then I faint to Pursue and get back up, because that's what we do. Then Scizor faints to a Thunderbolt. We battle Alien Luzamine. Clefable comes in and Thunderbolt does nothing. He uses Moonblast for 54 damage, then a Psychic does little and uses Metronome Freeze Dry. I then use another Psychic for yellow HP and uses Cosmic Power raising defense. Then Thunderbolt does very little and uses Moonlight healing itself, which of course we cut. Mismagius comes in and oddly goes for Pain Split. So I just use Thunderbolt over while it uses Pain Split and even gets paralyzed until Mismagius faints. Lilligant comes in and I live on 1 HP with Petal Dance, then I faint to a Petal Dance and try again to do Psychic for low yellow HP, and I live on 5 HP to Petal Dance and I faint it with a Psychic. Miloto comes in and uses Safeguard, then I use a Thunderbolt for low yellow HP, then uses Hydro Pump for 99 damage, then it faints to another Thunderbolt. Then Beware comes in and uses Pain Split until it faints to a Psychic. We then try to catch Lunala. We battle Hao one last time. He sends out Raichu. We both use Thunderbolt, then Psychic until Hao switches into Incineroar, and I use a Thunderbolt for low green HP. It then lives on 1 HP to Brick Break, and I faint to Darkest Lariat. We try again, and Hao sends out Kamala, and it uses Earthquake, leaving me at 14 HP. I get it to 1 HP with Brick Break, and then live on 18 HP with Earthquake, and then it faints with the second Brick Break. Incineroar comes in and Brick Break gets it to half HP, and it faints with a Darkest Lariat. We try again and faint Incineroar with a Brick Break. Leafeon comes in and uses Baby Doll Eyes, and Psychic gets it to the yellow HP, and it faints to another Psychic. We battle Hollow, who sends out Hariyama. It lives on red HP from Psychic, and he uses Knockoff for 116 damage, and then it faints to 2 Psychics. Then Primeape comes in and faints to a Psychic. Beware comes in and uses Brutal Swing for 102 damage and a Heal Stall, then I faint it with 1 Psychic. And same with Crabominable. Crapoliwrath comes in and lives on low red HP from the Thunderbolt and uses Waterfall for 84 damage, then faints to 2 Thunderbolt. We battle Olivia, who sends a Relicanth that faints to a Thunderbolt. Probopass comes in and lives on 1 HP from Brick Break because of Sturdy. I use a Psychic because of Sturdy, and a Brick Break that faints it. Lycanroc comes in and Brick Break does half 8 damage. It uses Crunch for 98 damage, then faints to another Brick Break. Alolan Golem comes in and Steamroller versus Brick Break until Golem faints. Carbon comes in and uses Reflect that I use a Brick Break to destroy the Reflect. He uses Moonblast for 28 damage, and I use a Thunderbolt. And he uses a Moonblast, and I use a Psychic, and I use another Moonblast until I faint it with another Psychic. Then we battle Acerola. Sableye comes in and uses Fake Out, then faints to a Thunderbolt. Palossand comes in and immediately uses Z-move Shattered Psych, one-shotting Palossand. Dhelmise comes in and Psychic does half damage. He uses a Shadow Ball for 74 damage, then faints to a second Psychic. Then Frostlass comes in and faints to a Thunderbolt. Driftblim comes in and lives on Rage Pew from Thunderbolt. He uses Ominous Wind for 54 damage, then faints to 3 Thunderbolts. We then battle Kahili that sends out Skarmory, and I use a Psychic because of Sturdy, and it uses a Crit Slash for 57 damage, then faints to a Thunderbolt. Mandibuzz comes in and lives on red HP to Thunderbolt. It uses Brave Bird for 32 damage, then it faints to 3 Thunderbolts. Oricorio faints to a Thunderbolt, as does Crobat and Toucannon. Then we battle Champion Kukui. Lycanroc comes in and faints to a Brick Break. Then Snorlax comes in and Brick Break gets it to low yellow HP and uses high horsepower for 106 damage. Then it faints to another Brick Break. Decidueye comes in and I immediately use the Z-move Shatter Psych, defeating Decidueye. Alolan Ninetales comes in and uses Blizzard for 67 damage. Thunderbolt does half damage and uses another Blizzard, and it freezes me. And he uses Safeguard but faints to a Thunderbolt. Then Bravery faints to a Thunderbolt. Magnezone comes in and uses a Thunderbolt for 30 and uses its own Thunderbolt for 37 damage. Then Magnezone faints to 3 Brick Breaks, making us the champion. Phew! We did it. Now on to Galar. That was kind of fun and different. The next game we'll be playing is Pokemon Shield because my sword version is broken, so I'm stuck with Shield. Anyway, so this is a Switch game, so I'll be forced to use the 30-second Switch recordings, so if any clips look janky and weird, that's why. Anyway, we're back to original Electric-type Raichu, and there aren't any Ground-type specialists in this game. I mean, Alistair has Galarian Yamask, but doesn't have any ground moves. The only thing that'll kinda suck is Raihan's Sandaconda. I guess Hop's Rillaboom and Snorlax will suck, but we'll figure out a way, and Leon's Haxorus does have Earthquakes. So a few challenges, but nothing super scary. Anyway, let's get it started. We then choose Scorbunny, finally not a water starter. We battle Wooloo, however we don't have Raichu, so who cares. We then hatch a Pichu, then evolve Reactive into a Pikachu, then we evolve into a beautiful Raichu. We battle Hop, whose Wooloo faints to a Brick Break, Grookey comes in and Play Rough does a lot, but Branch Poke goes for 9 damage, then it faints to a Brick Break, then Rookity faints to a Thunderbolt. Okay, I'm turning off attack animations because it would be so hard to do these with their Switch recordings. If you don't like it, well then, too bad. We battle Hop, which Wooloo faints to a Brick Break. Then Brick Break does low green HP and uses Scratch for 6 damage, then it faints to a Brick Break and Play Rough. Then Rookity faints to a Thunderbolt. We battle Bead, which Solosis faints to a Thunderbolt. Gothita comes in and Thunderbolt leaves it at red HP and uses Tickle, which lowered my attack and speed. Hatena comes in and Thunderbolt gets it to red HP and Confusion for 9 damage, then faints to a second Thunderbolt. We battle Milo and uses Gossifleur, except Reactive is disobedient, and Gossifleur uses Rapid Spin. I hit a Brick Break for half damage, and it uses Round and faints to another Brick Break. We both Dynamax and Eldegoss uses Max Strike for 17 damage, then Max Starfall gets it to low green HP and uses Max Overgrowth for 30 damage. I use another Max Starfall, getting it to low yellow HP, and uses Max Strike. After Eldegoss uses Round, I use a Brick Break, defeating Eldegoss, earning us the first gym badge. Then we battle Hop, who sends out Wooloo, that faints to a Brick Break. Thwacky comes in and Brick Break gets it to low green HP. It then uses Screech, then Brick Break gets it to red HP and uses Screech. And another Brick Break faints Thwacky, and Corvusquire comes in and faints to a Thunderbolt. We battle Nessa, who sends out Goldeen that faints to a Thunderbolt. Then Arrokuda comes in and uses Aqua Jet for 10 damage and faints to a Thunderbolt. Dreadnought Dynamaxes and Max Lightning gets it to red HP and uses Max Darkness for 26 damage. Then another Max Lightning faints Dreadnought, earning us the second gym badge. We battle Beat again. He sends out Solosis, who faints to a Thunderbolt. Gothita lives on 1 HP with Thunderbolt and uses Psyshock for 21 damage. It then heals and faints to a Thunderbolt. Hatena comes in and faints to a Thunderbolt. Galarian Ponyta comes in and Thunderbolt gets it to red HP, uses Confusion for 9 damage and faints to another Thunderbolt. We battle Marnie, who sends out Krogunk that faints to a Thunderbolt, Scraggy to a Play Rough. Morpeko comes in, lives on red HP to Brick Break and uses Bite for 24 damage. It then turns Hangry mode and then faints to a Brick Break. We battle Kabu, who brings in Ninetales. A Thunderbolt gets it to yellow HP and uses Will-O-Wisp Burning Knee, then faints to a Surf. Arcanine comes in and Surf gets it to red HP and uses Agility and then uses Flame Wheel for 20 damage, then faints to a Surf. After Dynamaxing, I use a Max Geyser for low yellow HP, and Centiskorch uses Max Flutterby for 54 damage, and I finish it with another Max Geyser, earning us the third gym badge. We battle Hop, who sends out Cramorant, which, no surprise, faints to a Thunderbolt, Silicroba to a Surf. Thwacky comes in and Brick Break gets it to low green HP and uses Screech. It uses Round, and after 2 Brick Breaks, it uses another Round and faints to another Brick Break. And this Thwacky sucks. Then Toxel faints to a Surf. We battle Alistair, and Yamask lives on red HP to a Surf and uses Hex for 13 damage, then faints to a second Surf. Mimikyu comes in and faints to 2 Thunderbolts. Cursola comes in and Thunderbolt gets it to low green HP and uses Curse, which will suck a lot, then faints to a Thunderbolt. Gigantamax Gengar comes in, uses G-Max Terror, and Curse Fate Me. We try again, and Gigantamax Gengar is super cool. And I use a Max Lightning for low green HP and uses Max Ooze for 58 damage, then it faints to another Max Lightning, earning us the 4th gym badge. We battle Bead, who uses Duosion and it lives on red HP to a Thunderbolt, and uses Psyshock for 43 damage, then faints to another Thunderbolt. Hatrem lives on yellow HP to Thunderbolt and uses Psybeam for 34 damage and faints to a Thunderbolt. Gothorita comes in, the exact same thing happened with Hatrem happens here. Weird. Ponyta comes in, uses Psybeam and it lives on red HP and you guessed it, Thunderbolt, and uses 2 agilities and faints to a Thunderbolt. Battle Opal, who uses Wheezing, and I use a Thunderbolt for yellow HP and use a Sludge for 28 damage. Do you know my nickname? It's the Wizard. That worked well. The Wheezing faints to another Thunderbolt. Mawile comes in and Thunderbolt does half damage, uses Crunch for 23 damage, and then it faints to a Surf. What's my favorite color? It's purple, which is also my favorite color. Togekiss lives on yellow HP to Thunderbolt. It uses Draining Kiss for 12 damage, then it faints to a Thunderbolt. Alchemy becomes a giant cake and uses G-Max Finale for 27 damage, and Max Lightning gets to low green HP, and uses another G-Max Finale healing itself. How old am I? 16. We finish Alchemy with a crit Max Lightning, earning us the 5th gym badge. Battle Hop, who uses Trevenant. Play Rough does half and uses Confuse Ray and hit myself. Uses Horn Leech for 31 damage. I get out of Confusion and use Play Rough and gets it to red HP and uses another Horn Leech and it heals itself. And then faints to 2 Play Roughs. Snorlax comes in, uses Body Slam for 45 damage. Then Brick Break does half and uses another Body Slam, which I live on 7 HP, and it faints to another Brick Break. Heatmore uses 2 Fire Lashes and Surf gets it to red HP and then it faints to a Fire Lash. Try again and Heatmore faints to a single Surf. Bolton comes in and Brick Break does half and uses Crunch for 40 damage, then a second Brick Break faints Bolton. Rillaboom comes in and uses Drum Beating for 51 damage. I use a Brick Break for low green HP and uses Drum Beating until I hit a Play Rough for low yellow HP. It uses 2 more Drum Beatings until it faints to a Play Rough. We battle Melanie, who sends out Frostmoth. Thunderbolt does half and uses Hail and faints to another Thunderbolt. Darmanitan comes in and Brick Break gets it to red HP, and I avoid an Icicle Crash and it switches back into Zen mode and it faints to a Brick Break. Then Ice Cube comes in, who is very annoying. Brick Break does nothing because Ice Face. He uses Icy Wind, which I guess only stopped Hail. Brick Break gets it to low yellow HP. He uses Hail, which gets it to Ice Face again. And Brick Break does nothing because of the Icy Wind for 19 damage, which he uses Freeze Dry, which freezes me. I eventually thaw and break through Ice Face once more. It then uses a crit Freeze Dry, and I freeze but immediately thaw out and faint Ice Cube Brick Break. Lapras Gigantamax and uses G-Max Resonance for 55 damage. I then Dynamax and barely live another G-Max Resonance, and Lapras lives on low green HP to Max Lightning. Lapras uses another G-Max Resonance and then a Surf, and Max Lightning gets it to low red HP. It then uses Ice Beam and Surf before fainting to a Thunderbolt, earning us a 6th gym badge. We battle Hop, who uses Double and Brick Break gets it to red HP. It then uses Growl and heals and faints to 2 Brick Breaks. Snorlax comes in and Brick Break gets it to low green HP and uses a crit Body Slam for 56 damage. Uses another Body Slam and Brick Break gets it to red HP and uses a Body Slam and then faints to Brick Break. Rillaboom comes in and heal stall the Drum Beating until he uses Double Hit. I use a Brick Break until he uses Dome Brick Break, and then it faints to my Brick Break. I hope there's at least one person who's annoyed by the word Brick Break from me. Pincurchin comes in and Brick Break gets it to low green HP and uses a Bubble Wing for 16 damage. Then Surf gets it to red HP and uses Curse, then faints to a Brick Break. Corviknight comes in and uses Scary Face, but Thunderbolt gets it to red HP, but Hail finishes it off. We battle Marnie, who sends out Light Burn and uses a Sucker Punch for 30 damage but faints to a Brick Break. Toxicroak comes in and Thunderbolt gets it to yellow HP and uses Swagger that it misses and faints to a Thunderbolt. Scrafty comes in and faints to a Play Rough, and Morpeko to a Brick Break. We battle Piers, who uses Scrafty that faints to a Play Rough. Malamar comes in and Play Rough gets it to half HP and uses a Foul Play for 51 damage, then it faints to another Play Rough. Obstagoon comes in and Brick Break gets it to low green HP and uses Throat Chop for 43 damage. Brick Break gets it to red HP, but it faints to another Throat Chop. We try again and Brick Break does the same and uses Throat Chop and then Obstruct, then another Throat Chop and faints to a Brick Break. Skuntank comes in and Thunderbolt gets it to low green HP. He uses Toxic, but another Thunderbolt takes it down, earning us the 7th gym badge. We battle Raihan, who uses Flygon and Gigalith. I use a Surf, killing Sizzlipede and doing half to Gigalith and low green HP to Flygon. Flygon uses Breaking Swipe and Gigalith uses Body Press. Flygon lives another Surf and Gigalith faints, and Flygon uses another Breaking Swipe. Sandaconda comes in and uses Surf, fainting Flygon, but Sandaconda lives and it faints to an Earth Power. Sandaconda comes in and the combination of Breaking Swipe and Earth Power are deadly, however one Surf takes them down. Duraludon Gigantamax and uses Max Rockfall for 42 damage. I Dynamax and use a Max Knuckle for low green HP and uses G-Max Depletion for 57 damage, and we both use Max Knuckle. Duraludon gets back to its small size and faints to a 3rd Max Knuckle, earning us the final gym badge. We battle Marnie that uses Light Part, that uses Torment and faints to a Brick Break. Scrafty Play Rough. Toxstroke sneaks in a Thunder Punch but faints to a Thunderbolt. Morpeko faints to a Brick Break and Gigantamax Grimmsnarl to a single Max Starfall. We battle Hop one last time. He uses double that faints to a Brick Break. Snorlax comes in and lives on 1 HP to Brick Break and uses high horsepower for 62 damage, then faints to another Brick Break. Pincurchin comes in, uses Curse and Surf, gets it to yellow HP, and uses Poison Jab for 30 damage, then faints to another Surf. Corviknight comes in and faints to a Thunderbolt. Rillaboom Dynamaxes and Max Starfall gets it to half HP and uses Max Quick for 100 damage, but faints to another Max Starfall. We battle Oleana, who sends out Frostlass that faints to a Thunderbolt. Milotic lives on 1 HP to Thunderbolt and uses Aqua Rain, healing a bit but faints to Thunderbolt. Salazzle to a Surf. Then here's where it sucks. Poliwrath gets Serena to yellow HP, then uses a Track which stops me from attacking and it spams Chalk Kicks. Then I cut to the final Brick Break. Then Garbodor Gigantamaxes and Max Lightning gets it to low yellow HP, he uses Max Quick for 102 damage. Then it faints to second Max Lightning. We battle Beat, who sends out Mawile that faints to a Thunderbolt. Gardevoir comes in and Thunderbolt gets it to yellow HP and gets paralyzed, but uses Psychic for 57 damage. Then Gardevoir heals and faints to 2 Thunderbolts. Rapidash comes in and Thunderbolt gets it to red HP and uses a crit Psycho Cut for 56 damage, then faints to a Thunderbolt. Hatterene Gigantamaxes and Max Lightning gets it to yellow HP and I barely live a G-Max Smite, and then it faints to another Max Lightning. We battle Nessa, who uses Golisopod and that uses First Impression for 60 damage and faints to a Thunderbolt. As does Barraskewda, and Seaking, and Pelipper. Oh, and I guess Dreadnought. We battle Alistair, and Thunderbolt gets Dusknoir to yellow HP and uses Brock Tomb for 21 damage, then faints to a Thunderbolt. Then Chandelure to a Surf. Poltergeist comes in, uses a Protect, and then a Thunderbolt gets it to yellow HP, and uses Shadow Ball for 56 damage, and he uses another Protect, then it faints to another Thunderbolt. Cursula comes in and Thunderbolt gets it to half HP and uses Hex for 47 damage, then faints to another Thunderbolt. Gengar Gigantamaxes and Max Lightning gets it to red HP and I barely live a Max Darkness, and then Gengar faints to a single Max Lightning. We battle Rhyhorn, uses Torkoal. Surf gets it to yellow HP and uses Solar Beam for 37 damage, then faints to a second Surf. Flygon dies to a Poliwrath. Turtonator comes in and Poliwrath gets it to low green HP and uses Shell Trap, and that does 110 damage, then faints to a Surf. Goodra comes in and faints to a Poliwrath. Duraludon Gigantamaxes and Max Knuckle does half damage, and uses Max Rockfall for 56 damage, then we say bye bye after a second Max Knuckle. We battle Marco Cosmo Rose, who uses Escavalier. Thunderbolt gets it to yellow HP and uses Mega Horn for 120 damage, then faints to a Thunderbolt. Ferrothor comes in and Brick Break gets it to half HP and uses Curse, then faints to a Brick Break. Berserker comes in and uses Throat Chop for 59 damage. A Brick Break gets it to low yellow HP and uses Screech, then faints to another Brick Break. Clink Clank comes in and Brick Break gets it to low yellow HP and uses a Crit Assurance for 72 damage, then faints to a Brick Break. Caporaja then Gigantamaxes and I faint to a Max Quake. I try again and Max Knuckle does half. I live on 55 HP from Max Quake and it faints to another Max Knuckle. Then I catch Internus with a Pokeball to taunt Liam. Speaking of, we battle Champion Liam. He uses Aegislash. Thunderbolt gets it to low green HP and it gets paralyzed. It uses King Shield protecting itself, and then it lives on 1 HP from Thunderbolt. He uses Shadow Ball for 73 damage, and then heals, then faints to a Thunderbolt. Haxorus comes in and I miss a Poliwrath, thus making me faint to an Earthquake. We try again and faint Haxorus with a Poliwrath. Then Inteleon to a Thunderbolt. Then Dragapult to a Poliwrath. Mr. Rhyme comes in and Thunderbolt gets it to half HP and uses Psychic for 78 damage, then faints to a Thunderbolt. Charizard Gigantamax and G-Max Wildfire does too much, so I heal style to use a big Fire Blast. Then I hit a Thunderbolt defeating Charizard, making us the champion of Galar. Phew! Now on to the final region, Paldea. Yes! We are now at the last game. The final game we'll be playing is Pokemon Scarlet, but you already knew that because Sada's in the thumbnail. So the only one who's gonna be really scary is Rika. However, luckily Terra types exist, so we can use the Water Terra type. but overall this should be easy. Wait, Nemona will have Skeledirge with Torch Song, which will suck a lot. But we can do it. This has Gym Leaders, Titans, and Team Star Paces, and we'll be doing all of them. Anyway, let's get it started. We picked Quaxley. Yes, we brought back the water starters. Oh, it was nice getting that Breaking Galar. We battled Nemona, but we don't have Raichu, so who cares? We find a Pikachu, catch it, and name it Reactive. Then we evolve it. We battle Cloth, which Water Terra Surf gets it to low green HP. Cloth uses Rock Smash on Shelter, and Shelter uses Leer. Another Surf gets Cloth to yellow HP, Murder Shelter, and triggers Anger Shell. It uses Vice Grip for 25 damage and uses Rock Smash but faints to another Surf. We battle Katie, which Thunderbolt faints Nimble and Tarantula. Thunderbolt did half to Teddy Ursa and uses Fury Cutter for 18 damage, then Static kicks in and paralyzes it. Then a Surf takes it down, earning us the first gym badge. We battle Titan Bombardier and uses Rock Throw on Knackley, and Thunderbolt gets it to half HP. It uses another Rock Throw on Knackley, then another Thunderbolt takes it down. We battle Brassius and Petalil faints to Play Rough and Smoliv to Brick Break. Sudowoodo Terrastalizes and Play Rough gets it to low green HP. It uses Rock Throw and a Brick Break gets it to low yellow HP. It uses Trailblaze and I live on yellow HP, and Static kicks in and Play Rough gets it to red HP and uses another Trailblaze, then faints to a Brick Break, earning us the second gym badge. We battle Jaikama, which Poniard faints to a Brick Break. Then Reverum comes in and uses Wicked Torque for 25 damage. Then he uses another Brick Break, and he uses it with Wicked Torque, and I miss a Play Rough, and he uses Metal Sound, and I use a Play Rough. Then I live on 5 HP with Snarl. Then I hit a Play Rough, then it hits a Swift and a Metal Sound, and then it faints to a Brick Break. We battle Mela, who uses Torkoal. It hits a crit Flame Wheel for 66 damage, then that also birds me. Then I faint to 2 Flame Wheels. We try again and Torkoal faints to a Surf. We battle Reverum and Water Terra Surf gets it to low green HP. It uses Blazing Torque for 34 damage, then Surf gets it to red HP. It uses another Blazing Torque, then faints to a Surf. We battle Nemona, which Rock Rough faints to a Surf, Pop Me to a Play Rough, then Crocolore to a Terra Surf. We battle Ayano, and Wattrel faints to a Surf, as does Luxio. Belly Bolt comes in and Surf gets it to yellow HP and uses Water Gun for 13 damage, then a second Surf takes it down. Then I'm confused with Miss Magius and a second Surf takes it down, earning us the third gym badge. We're then walking around and wait, Reactive isn't attacking this. Oh, it's a shiny Bramblin. It's not a great shiny, but I'll happily take it. With Earthworm, the Brick Break does low green HP and uses Headbutt on Toadschool. Then Toadschool confuses Earthworm, then Brick Break gets it to yellow HP, then Earthworm murders Toadschool, Brick Break gets it to red HP and it hits in confusion and faints to a Brick Break. We battle Kofu, and Thunderbolt faints Veluza and also Wugtrio. Then Crabominable lives on 1 HP to Thunderbolt and does 75 damage with Crab Hammer, then faints to another Thunderbolt, earning us the 4th gym badge. We battle Larry and Brick Break does half to Kolmala and uses Yawn, then faints to another Brick Break. The Dunsparce comes in and uses Drill Run for 78 damage. I use a Brick Break for low green HP and he misses a Drill Run and Brick Break gets it to red HP, then I faint to a Drill Run. We try again, but I Terrastalize. I use a Brick Break, and of course Drill Run does less, and Static kicks in. I use a Brick Break and uses Glare, paralyzing me, then faints to a Brick Break. Staraptor comes in, and I die to a Facade, at least the Static kicked in. We try again, and I live on 5 HP to Facade, but faints to a second Surf, earning us the 5th gym badge. We battle Nemona, and Lycanroc uses Assault Rock for 27 damage, then faints to a Surf. Then Goomy and Pomo faint to a Play Rough, then Skeledirge faints to a single Terra Surf. We battle Atticus, and Skuntank faints to a Thunderbolt, as does real Reverum. Muck uses Sludge Wave for 22 damage, then faints to a second Thunderbolt. Reverum comes in, and Terra Surf gets it to low green HP, and uses Noxious Torque, and leaves me on red HP. Then Surf gets it to yellow HP, but hey, the poison fainted me. We try again and another Noxious Torque, and Thunderbolt gets it to low red HP. Then I faint again, and try again.
and finally fainted with a Thunderbolt. We battle Rhyme, and Banette uses Shadow Sneak, and I use a Thunderbolt on Banette for yellow HP. Banette uses Sucker Punch, then faints to a Surf. Mimikyu uses Slash, and Houndstone comes in. Another Surf faints Mimikyu and Houndstone to yellow HP. Another Surf gets Toxtricity to low green HP, and faints Houndstone. Then I faint to a Discharge. We try again, and I use a Thunderbolt on Toxtricity, getting it to half HP and paralyzing it. Then I die to a Phantom Force. I have a new idea. 2 reactives, because 2 is better than 1. Banette faints, and Toxtricity uses Hyper Voice, reacted to low Surround, but original reactive faints Toxtricity with a Thunderbolt, earning us a 6th gym badge. We battle Great Tusk, and Surf gets it to low green HP. I use another Surf, murdering Skull Villain, and get Great Tusk to red HP, but I faint to a Brick Break. Let Static kicked in. We try again, and with half damage from Surf, he uses Rapid Spin on Skull Villain, then both faint to Surf. We battle Nemona, and Lycanroc faints to a Surf. Slugu faints to a Play Rough, and Pawmot uses Quick Attack, but faints to a Play Rough. Skeledirge comes in, uses Torch Song for 48 damage, and it faints to a second Surf. We battle Tulip, and Thunderbolt gets Farigiraf to half HP and uses Reflect. Then Brick Break destroys the Reflect and Farigiraf. Gardevoir comes in, and Thunderbolt does half. It is a Psychic, but faints to another Thunderbolt. Espathra comes in, and Thunderbolt gets it to red HP. It also uses a Psychic, then faints to a Thunderbolt. Florges terrestrializes it and uses Moonblast for 58 damage. Then Thunderbolt gets it to a disappointing low green HP. It uses 2 more Moonblasts, and I use a Thunderbolt, and uses another Moonblast. I almost KO with Thunderbolt, but I faint 2 Moonblasts. We try again, and a Thunderbolt paralyzed it, and faints to a Surf, earning us the 7th gym badge. We battle Ortega. Thunderbolt KOs Azumarill, and Iron Tail KOs Wigglytuff. Darkspun uses Baby Doll Eyes, and I miss an Iron Tail, and uses another Baby Doll Eyes, and Iron Tail gets it to low green HP. Then it faints to a Thunderbolt. Revavroom comes in, and Iron Tail does nothing, and uses Magical Torque. Thunderbolt does a little more, and I terrestrialize Surf, and getting it to low yellow HP. It uses another Magical Torque, and I get confused, and it lives on red HP to Surf. I outspeed and hit a Thunderbolt, killing the car. We battle Dundozo, and Thunderbolt gets it to half damage. It uses Water Pulse on Greedent, and it lives on red HP to Thunderbolt, and uses Order Up on Greedent. Then Greedent takes it down with a takedown. I use a Play Rough on Tatsugiri, uses Dragon Pulse on Greedent, and a takedown and Play Rough get it to low yellow HP. It uses Icy Wind, then Greedent sacrifices itself. It then uses Muddy Water, and then faints to a crit Play Rough. We battle Grusha, and Frostmoth faints to an Iron Tail. Beartooth comes in, and I miss an Iron Tail, and uses Earthquake for 122 damage, then it faints to an Iron Tail. The Titan comes in, and Iron Tail gets it to red HP, and I faint to a Liquidation. We try again, and uses Ice Spinner, and faints to a Thunderbolt. Altaria comes in, and Iron Tail gets it to red HP. He uses Dragon Pulse for 34 damage, then faints to a Thunderbolt, earning us the final gym badge. We battle Eerie, which Thunderbolt does half damage to Toxicroak, uses Poison Jab for 79 damage, then it faints to another Thunderbolt. Passimian comes in, and I accidentally hit a Brick Break, and I faint to a Close Combat. We try again, and it faints to a Play Rough. Annihilate comes in and uses Close Combat, leaving me at 33 HP, and it faints to a Play Rough. Lucario comes in and uses Dark Pulse and Brick Break, and that gets it to yellow HP, and uses Aura Sphere, but faints to a Brick Break. Revavroom comes in and uses High Horsepower, and I use a Play Rough, but it faints to a High Horsepower. We try again, and Play Rough gets it to low green HP and uses Shift Gear. I terrestrialize, and he uses High Horsepower for less damage. I use another Play Rough for low yellow HP. He uses Shift Gear and Combat Torque, and Play Rough does even less. He uses Shift Gear and faints to a Play Rough. We battle Rika. Whiscash faints to a Trailblaze. Donphan comes in and lives on 1 HP with Surf because it's sturdy, and faints to another Surf. Darktrio faints to a single Surf, as does Camerupt. Clodsire terrestrializes and uses Earthquake for 110 damage, and uses Protect. I use a Trailblaze. It then uses Earthquake, then Protect, then faints to a Trailblaze. We battle Poppy, and Copperajah comes in, and Brick Break gets hit to low yellow HP, and it faints to a crit High Horsepower. What? We try again, I use a Brick Break, and I live a high horsepower for 27 damage, and it faints to another crit Brick Break, as if I couldn't use that before. Bronzong comes in and uses Zen Headbutt. Then Thunderbolt gets it to yellow HP, and I live on 6 HP, and it faints to a Thunderbolt. Magnezone comes in and uses Tri Attack, and I freeze and I thaw out, and he uses another Tri Attack. I use a Brick Break for low yellow HP, and uses Light Screen, and another Brick Break takes it down. Then Corviknight faints to a Thunderbolt. And Tinkaton comes in and Surf gets it to low green HP, and it faints to a Brick Break. Battle Larry. Iron Tail gets Tropius to low green HP and uses a Sunny Day, and Thunderbolt gets it to 1 HP and uses Solar Beam for 64 damage, then faints to a Thunderbolt. Staraptor faints to a Thunderbolt, and Playrough does half to Altaria and uses a Flamethrower for 49 damage, then faints to a Playrough. Oricorio uses Revelation Dance that does nothing and faints to a crit Thunderbolt. Flamigo comes in and faints to a Thunderbolt. Battle Hassel that uses Noivern. It uses Super Fang for half HP. It lives on red HP to play rough. It uses Dragon Pulse but faints to a Thunderbolt. Gougi uses Hydro Pump for 52 damage, and Iron Tail does half, and it uses Sludge Bomb, then faints to an Iron Tail, but its Poison Point poisons me. Then Flapple faints to a Play Rough. Haxorus comes in and Play Rough gets it to 1 HP. It uses Dragon Claw for 124 damage, then faints to a Thunderbolt. Baxcalibur comes in and Play Rough gets it to half damage. Then I faint to a single Glaive Rush. We try again, and this time I have a Focus Sash and it faints to a second Play Rough. Battle Gita, who uses Espathra. Thunderbolt gets it to low yellow HP, uses Lumina Crash and faints to another Thunderbolt. Avalok comes in and Iron Tail gets it to low green HP and I faint to an Earthquake. I try again and Thunderbolt gets it to red HP and I live an Earthquake and it faints to a Brick Break. King Gambit comes in, uses Kato Cleave and faints to a Brick Break. Go-Go comes in, uses Bulk Up and Brick Break does half, then Brick Break does less, and then Horn Leech does a lot. I cut to the end because it took forever. Look at the sky difference. Luza comes in and faints to a Thunderbolt. Glamora comes in and Surf gets it to red HP and uses small Earth Power and faints to a second Surf. We battle Nemona, then Surf destroys Lycanroc. Earthworm comes in and Brick Break gets it to low green HP. Earthquake though gets me to low yellow HP and it faints to a Thunderbolt. Then Anointed Dunsparce comes in, a Thunderbolt gets it to half and uses Drill Run for 130 damage, then faints to a Thunderbolt. Then Palma uses Ice Punch, then faints to a Surf. Goodra comes in and Iron Tail does half damage and uses Dragon Pulse for 78 damage and it faints to another Iron Tail. Dirge, I use a Surf for red HP and I faint to a Shadow Ball. I try again and Surf gets it to red HP again and uses Earth Power and faints to another Surf. Battle Clavel, Oranguru comes in and Thunderbolt does half and uses Yawn and faints to a Thunderbolt. Gyarados comes in and uses Aqua Tail for 147 damage, Static kicks in and faints to a Thunderbolt. Abomasnow comes in, Iron Tail gets it to red HP and uses Wood Hammer fainting me. At least Static kicked in. We try again and this time we use Brick Break, Iron Tail, and it uses Wood Hammer and then faints to a Brick Break. Houndoom comes in and faints to a crit Surf. Guys comes in, uses Shell Smash. I use a Shadow Ball leaving me at 15 HP, then faints to a Thunderbolt. Then Meowscarada terastallizes and uses Play Rough for not a lot of damage. Iron Tail gets it to low green HP. I live on 14 HP to a crit Flower Trick. It uses Shadow Claw and Brick Break gets it to a yellow HP. Then we faint to a Flower Trick. Try again with Static and we use a Brick Break and use a Thunder Punch that does nothing and faints to 2 Brick Breaks. Now Arvin uses Greedent. Brick Break gets it to red HP and uses Earthquake for low green HP. Then it faints to another Brick Break. Then Garganacl faints to a Terra Surf. Then Toadscruel lives on half HP to Surf before fainting me to a Power Whip. We try again, use Earth Power and I use a Surf for low green HP and uses another Earth Power. I uses a Power Whip and lives on 1 HP to Play Rough. It uses an Earth Power and faints to a Brick Break. Skullvillain misses a Fire Blast and Surf does half. Then Fire Blast doesn't even do that much and faints to a Surf. Then Cloyster faints to a Thunderbolt. And Play Rough does half damage and I live on 23 HP to Crunch and it faints to a Play Rough. We battle Penny, and Play Rough gets Umbreon to low yellow HP and uses Dark Pulse for 37 damage, and uses Baby Doll Eyes and faints to a Thunderbolt. Flareon comes in, and Surf gets it to red HP and uses Flare Blitz, which I barely survive, but Flareon faints itself. Vaporeon uses Hydro Pump, and Thunderbolt gets it to 1 HP and uses another Hydro Pump and faints to another Thunderbolt. Leafeon uses Leaf Blade, Iron Tail gets it to low green HP. Uses another Leaf Blade, it uses X-Scissor, then Play Rough gets it to yellow HP, uses Baby Doll Eyes, and Iron Tail gets it to red HP, then faints to another Play Rough. Then Jolteon comes in and Play Rough gets it to low green HP, it misses a Thunder, and Surf gets it to red HP, and uses a Thunder that does nothing and faints to a Surf. Leon comes in and Iron Tail does half, and I barely live a Moonblast, and it faints to another Iron Tail. Now Reactive's final battle. Other Wing faints to a Play Rough. Brute Bonnet comes in and he uses Sucker Punch, and Play Rough gets it to low yellow HP, and he uses another Sucker Punch and faints to a Play Rough. Sandy Shocks comes in and I attempt a Surf, but it lives on yellow HP and I faint to an Earth Power. This time I Terrastalize and he uses an Earth Power and I faint Sandy Shocks with a Surf. Then Fluttermane uses Power Gem, then faints to an Iron Tail. Screamtail comes in and Iron Tail does half and it misses a Play Rough and faints to another Iron Tail. Then Roaring Moon comes in and immediately faints with a crit Dragon Claw. What? We try again and it faints to a Play Rough. That's it. Well, that was certainly quite the journey. This whole thing took 2 months. If you watched the whole thing, then shout out to you. Was this all worth it? I'd say yeah. It gave me a new appreciation for Raichu. And would I recommend it? Maybe. If you like Raichu and long challenges, then yes. Anyway, if you like this very long video, make sure to like and subscribe, and thank you all for 1,000 subs. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.